What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 54 of Saturday Night Hypnosis. I hope all of you guys enjoyed the brand new intro. Obviously, I have to work on it a little bit more. Kind of add a couple more people, but I thought it was very fitting. Every character matched,
Cages was the best one.
Yeah, I think Joe Pesci for sure got me when I was editing it. I was like, yeah, this is definitely Cassie for sure. But yes, guys, welcome to episode number 54. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. I do sound like shit, and I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. But we are going to do our best, and of course, we have the epic FearTheBeardo with us tonight, joining us on Saturday Night Hypnosis. What's up, Beardo? How you doing, good sir?
Pretty good, man. How are you guys? I'm excited to be here. I've heard a lot about your show, a lot about you, and yeah, man, it's a pleasure.
I hope it's all good things. But
yes, all good things, of course.
Oh, good. But yes, guys, welcome. So listen, we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna get right into the intro because there's plenty to cover tonight. So let's start off with, I feel bad for everybody else because they got to come after Coach, but we're gonna start off with our local oracle, the Coach MC. Take it over, sir.
What's up, everybody? This is the Oracle. This is the Coach MC. Welcome to the Saturday Night Hypnosis. It's a wonderful opportunity, a great pleasure, and a huge honor to be part of this incredible and very gifted and very spirited and very funny panel. Yes, we are a bit provocative. Yes, we're a bit loud. Yes, we're sometimes rumbling in the jungle. But you know what? We have only the best intentions. That's what all bad people say. But besides that, we have a very spirited heart. We have great entertainment, mythology, great comic entertainment, like just a great culture at our hearts. This is our mission. We want to give people something back and be also part of a great and thriving community, and not some trash community just based on some strange agendas and dictates that are just coming from some funny think tanks that have nothing to do with the actual culture. So if you want to explore more of your culture, if you want to build something amazing, like a great speech, like a great acting monologue, if you want to get into drama school, if you want to get into acting, if you want to, kind of promulgate your mission, if you want to really be out there on the stage and really kind of tell people what you're all about and explore your characters and all that, and maybe also get a foot into the door of entertainment industry, come over to the Coach MC studio, check out our videos, our guidances, our performance, but also our strategy tips out on how to make it in entertainment industry and how to have fun with this medium, to explore yourself and to be creative every day, and to not listen to the naysayers and to the negative voices, but just to just to promote your voice, right? Your narrative and your story. So let's have fun all together and come over to the studio and enjoy the culture.
Thank you very much, my good sir. Thank you. We got Mr. Chill himself, Mr. Wyatt, aka Wyatt's Metal, aka Film Rebel. This man has multiple different personalities, and this is the long time since he's been on the show twice in a row. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I've been busy, but thankfully because of the strike, I've had a lot of free time now. But I'm Film Rebel on my entertainment channel, where I talk honestly about today's entertainment. I am a acting refugee, I would say, where I've gone to YouTube to now speak honesty. I also run Wyatt's Metal, where I talk about heavy metal stuff. I'm a metal vocalist, and I've always been someone who tries to keep things honest, speak their mind clearly. So that's why I'm here with the Bigot Army today. I apologize for Hypnotic shilling for COVID right now, but yeah, damn money. So what can you do?
Of course, I should have known you were going to say that. And we got the one and only, the derailer of the stream himself, Dragon Slayer commentaries.
Well, all right. What a great way to do it. And on top of that, you turned me into Smaug. I am quite honored, good sir. Now,
I thought you would be.
Yes, I know. It's just wonderful. Hey, guys, how's it going? Your Dragon Bro is right here. Dragon Bro, Fire Neck Dragon, or the normal persona Dragon Slayer commentaries. And I make reviews on basically all the excrement that Hollywood releases, and occasionally I sprinkle in that library some good movies like Kindergarten Cop, which is what I'm working on. And fuck you, whoever said 5 hours later, you goddamn bastard.
I'm sorry. And I had to highlight it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Why you had to put that? But yeah, guys, basically that's what I do. I'm very excited for this week's show, like I am for every single show. We're going to have a fun time with the glorious Beard Man. And now we don't have one, we have two. So let's get going, shall we?
Very nice, very nice. Thank you, good sir. And we got the epic, the legendary FearTheBeardo himself. Take it away, man.
Let's go, man. Yeah, I'm FearTheBeardo, member of Geeks and Gamers. I'm on Sports Wars with Ryan Kennel. What else? Yeah, you see Ada Wong simp. I'm a huge Ada simp, Resident Evil fan, master of the smelling salts and the hot cacas and everything. Let's see. And sometimes
a hot what?
A hot caca, steaming liquid turbo hot caca.
Ryan is an idiot. Just so you guys know.
He lives in a shack on an island where Luke Skywalker was imagined at.
Surrounded by caca.
Yeah. So yes, on occasion when I need to lock it in when I'm gaming, sometimes just the stomach has been bubbling, and I got to take a quick break and take a liquid turbo hot diarrhea. And that really gets me back in the mode. I'm also known as Beer the Feardo. At some points, when I'm enjoying a cold one, I'm Beer the Feardo, just like right now.
Very nice.
We happen to get locked in. We get locked in with smelling salts. These are the world's strongest powerlifting smelling salts that we do use for the gym, but we like to use them when we play video games and sometimes when we podcast. So for this occasion, I will do a whiff of smelling salts right now live for you guys. These are the world's strongest smelling salts.
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Oh, let's do it. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Anyways, yes, I'm a professional eater of corn, apparently. Even though I do not enjoy corn typically, unless it's elote, Mexican corn. I do enjoy elote.
Hey,
but I never really enjoyed corn. It was this weird, random super chat that somebody just said, "Oh, Beardo eats corn the long way," and this was like 3 weeks ago, and it's still going on. I want the fucking thing to die, but it's the internet, so it is not gonna die apparently. But yeah, man, happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and yeah, that's just a little bit about FearTheBeardo.
Very nice, man.
Yeah.
Beardo, just do what Wyatt is doing, and just do what some of the crazy people in Wyatt's Metal Channel comments are saying. There's going to use copyright on him for no fucking reason.
Oh, dude, yeah, metal people don't know what the fuck fair use is. It's really annoying.
It really is crazy the comments you get on your channel, bro. I thought I got some interesting comments, but wow.
Yeah, you guys think.
Yeah, I feel you made me feel safe. I just got to tell you, which is crazy.
No one's nasty to me, folks. It must be my white privilege.
Clearly. Speaking of which, our local Klansman, Ryan Roger Anthony, take it away, sir.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. No, I'm not covering my forehead. My hairline is fucked. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm cosplaying as Tim Pool for this stream, and I bought new headphones that cost me £10.
So you know he got it from like a thrift store.
I saw them too.
And this was £32. And folks, Hypno dropped $1,000 on a new setup, and I'm like, you fucker, that could have fed me for like 5 months. But it's great to see you all watching today. It's great to meet FearTheBeardo. Always nice to meet one of the fine folks of Geeks and Gamers, and hopefully we'll have a good conversation on all things pop culture. Although I will say one more thing. It's good that Atreus is not here.
Oh my god.
Of course.
Are we talking like Atreus as in boy? That Atreus?
No, not that Atreus.
No. Our local hood ninja Atreus.
I'll call him that next time, Beardo. Hey, boy.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work the way you think.
Not like freaking Family Guy. Hey, boy.
I don't
It's
think
gonna
that's
be
how
really
meant
bad.
Or like Joe Biden. Hush up, boy.
Or like Joe Biden.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't really say much. He does a lot of sniffing.
Yeah.
You know? All right, last but not least, the spirit animal of Joe Pesci, Go Classic Cage. Take it away.
No, it's all about peace today because I haven't slept in what feels like forever because of Starfield. So I don't really feel as though I have much energy to be Joe Pesci tonight, but I'm here regardless, and I am hyped to be here. And it's good to be here with Beardo. Another week in the books for Saturday Night Hypnosis, and Yeah, I feel like the 1% in my half Puerto Rican blood is being like destroyed by this panel tonight, so it's over. Atreus ditched. Yeah, Atreus ditched us. So it's rough out here, guys. But I am Cassie Cage of the Cult Classic Cage Show on YouTube, Kick, and Twitter. So I refuse to call it X. I don't care what anyone says.
I don't think many people do call it X.
Yeah, I see Leon trying to push it or change it. It's like, bro, you keep effing it up every time. Just call it Twitter and keep it moving, bro. But happy to be here. The panel is awesome, and the chat is awesome. I like them Puerto Rican emotes, so appreciate y'all for that. But yeah, man, happy to be here.
Awesome. I'm mad at Atreus for ditching us, man, because I gave him one of the most epic characters in movie history. Right? And I made him fucking Shonuff from The Last Dragon, and he ditches on the night that I gave. I'm like, why would you do that? You Shonuff. That's all right. It's fine.
You made me John Goldman.
No, don't do that. Don't.
That is the great.
I am that fat though. I am very fat. I'm as hairy as pre-workout phase.
We still love you no matter what, so it's fine.
Yes.
Yep.
So listen, guys, we have a lot to talk about tonight.
Let's just put it that way.
Oh my God, Jesus!
Before the night is over, I want to see the hairline.
He's gonna show it. He has no shade.
There you go.
He's pretty strong.
You got something up there. I'm 24. You got something up there.
He's just being nice, just so you're aware.
Oh goodness,
that was very brave. I appreciate that,
Ryan. Thank you for that. Thank you for shining the light in the room.
Yeah,
appreciate it. But listen, we got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We got to talk about good old IGN talking about One Piece and making probably one of the most stupid statements I've seen in a while, which is pretty crazy because we've seen some stupid statements. We're also going to talk about Ahsoka, of course, episode 3, the episode that everybody's roasting online more than the first 2 because of that little girl boss space battle that happened that everybody's making fun of. We're also going to talk about Volition, the studio shutting down. I want to really get into that one because that one I'm very passionate about because I've been a fan of Volition games. Right? Yeah, Saints Row, Red Faction Guerrilla 2, like way back in the day. Like it, like if you know Volition, you know that they probably made a lot of the games a lot of people adore over at least the last 20, 30 years. So the fact that they are shut down by their own making is pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about, but let's start off with the One Piece stuff because I know that's hot right now. A lot of people are questioning whether One Piece is good or not. And fucking Leon is not here after binge watching One Piece, literally talking about it nonstop in our chat. But apparently, according to a lot of people, One Piece, the live action, is good. I don't know if anybody has seen it here on the panel. Has anybody watched One Piece?
Yeah,
like the first episode or?
Yeah, I saw the first episode.
I haven't, but I've watched enough shonen anime that I won't be surprised by anything you tell me.
Yeah, but apparently it's actually good. So it's so good. And you know how I know it's good without even watching it? You have articles like this from fucking IGN, right? Where they say an entertaining adaptation hindered by a desire to recreate every major event in its source material.
What the fuck do you mean? Like that's what you're supposed to do. What do you
hate IGN.
Not make a good
problem right now.
IGN has been
want to be faithful to the source material. That's funny.
I mean, if you guys want, they can just do what the Rings of Power showrunners did. They kept saying, "Oh, we're going back to the book, back to the book, back to the book," and then 2% of the book is there.
Well, that's the thing, and you're always going to get articles from show websites like IGN that are going to, let's say the show is bad, right? Like it was notoriously hated by people. You're going to get articles saying, oh, well, source material doesn't matter. It's all about modernizing, whatever they're writing about or putting on TV.
Well, this is definitely not what the people want and not what the audience wants.
We all know with IGN, whatever they say, pretty much
media buddies up there, but it's not really what the people
want. You're so right, Wyatt, what you said with IGN. Like whatever they say, just do the opposite. Think the opposite, because that's probably what the normal take is.
If they give something a 7, that means it's shit.
Yeah.
Right. If they give it a 10, you really need to run the fuck away.
If they give it a 3, you might want to check it out. It's probably pretty good.
No, I saw the first episode. I really liked it. I mean, I was surprised because back then in Italy, this was a big show, and I was also reading the the comic books. And back in the days, like, to me, this was one of the biggest shows. And I really was looking out for the adaptation, whether or not kind of to roast it or to venerate it, or just to find it decent, like at least decent. And actually it turned out to be a great first episode. I don't know how it's continue, but the first level really surprised me. The thing that surprised me the most is how they made the translation, because of course the comic books and the anime itself is very extreme and very, kind of, it's spongy, it's very elastic, it's very, kind of outrageous in the way they're setting up the scene.
Surreal.
So how to turn that into real live action, I thought they did a good job. It was pretty good. Like, the actors are good. The story is of course the story, and the world is pretty. It's difficult. I mean, I haven't watched all the episodes, but exactly. This is a huge world. This is gigantic.
I was glad to be proven wrong, because I thought Netflix were going to obliterate One Piece because of how they've managed to obliterate so many works that they've gotten their sticky fingers into. I mean, The Witcher is a great example. But it's good to see that this show is starting off with a bang. Hopefully, in 3 seasons' time, it will still be a bang and not be messed up.
Right. The girl power is girl power. It's not exaggerated. The guys aren't demasculated. There is, at least as far as I can tell, like in the first episode, there is no hidden agenda going on. The only agenda is, right now, it looks like entertaining people and, making One Piece. That's it.
Well, the creator is at the core of this project, so that is a green flag rather than a red flag.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If Ichido really is so invested in this live action, I don't think you're really going to see a lot of the stuff people hate to see. You know what I mean? And I think Cowboy Bebop, as much they want to, it's weird because they want to say, oh, Cowboy Bebop taught us a lot, right? But then when Cowboy Bebop was running and was live, they had the completely opposite mindset. They were attacking everybody who hated it. They didn't care whether you liked it or not. But all of a sudden, now that One Piece is out, before it releases, you want to say, oh yeah, no, we learned a lot. We learned a lot from
not only that, they have also they have the balls to say, oh no, back then we knew that the stuff wasn't good. We just wanted to protect the material by attacking the fans. It's like, so that was a strategy. That's great.
Yeah, it never quite made any sense. But again, because Ichido's involved, I think that this is why it is the way it is. Now, it's going to be hard always, and I've said this before, it's going to be hard to translate a manga or an anime like One Piece to live action. And a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff will work, and I think they did what they could from the little scenes that I've saw, but there are certain things that are just not going to work, and they're going to look a little weird and a little awkward. But as long as they keep their toes together and keep moving forward, I think it'll be fine. Just Netflix has to keep their corporate side out of it and let Ichiro kind of run the final say.
100 seasons of One Piece.
At this point, we're just happy if the showrunners make a half decent job, right? At this point, we've been disappointed, unfortunately, for the last, 20 years, let's say 15 at least.
Well, that brings up my next question, though, Coach, because if this is our mindset, like, oh, we're just happy that they actually put out something decent, is everybody kind of cheering this show on because we've had such shit for such a long time?
No, standards are so low now. That's why I believe what's good for 2023 would be bad in 2003. But I'd like to hear Beardo's take on this live action.
So during COVID, me and my brother, we binged the One Piece anime, and I think Hypnotic had a point with the failure of Cowboy Bebop and the Death Note live action. What was that, a Netflix original a few years ago?
Yes.
So just with those absolutely just like flopping, I think a lot of people are hesitant for this, seeing another beloved anime getting a live action adaptation, and people are like holding their breath on Netflix got a hold of this. How are they going to screw this up? But one thing that we saw with Cowboy Bebop was that chick actress just completely slamming the fans about her outfits, just saying, all that nonsense that she was doing. And not only did that help derail the show, the fact that the show was shit. So with this, it's amazing to see that you haven't heard any kind of controversy from the actors and actresses about this show speak up, start attacking the fans, getting angry with the fans, and then already starting off with a bad note. You're seeing a lot of that going on with that new Snow White live action going on with Disney right now, with Rachel Zegler and the movie is still like, what, 10 months away? We got a long time to go. And she's already pissing people off. So,
they didn't cancel it?
No.
And what's surprising is that movie is getting a theatrical release.
That's their moral flagship.
Can't wait to not watch it. I'm excited to not
wait to not watch it on a pirate site.
That actually reminds me. Like I really thought that Snow White, based on what you said, I really thought Snow White was going to be like Peter Pan. I thought it was going to be a Disney Plus streaming only thing, but the fact it's actually coming out in theaters, I was like, oh wow,
and like Pinocchio and everything like that.
Girl, they can can it.
Yeah, just.
I think part of the reason why though, Beardo, a lot of people are not saying anything, is number one, the show's actually getting good feedback, so they kind of they usually shut up around that point. But number two, even if they wanted to say something, I don't think they can because of the strike going on. I think they actually have to be quiet.
Exactly. This is
true.
Honestly,
but even I was just gonna say, I don't know if you guys saw the video where the dude that plays Luffy went to actually meet Oda. And it was so wholesome. Like, I'm not even a One Piece fan. I watched it. Like, I was getting like a little teary-eyed. I was like, oh man, that's such a nice, like, meeting, union. Like, obviously the dude that plays Luffy, he's truly passionate to play the character.
Genuine.
It's genuine. It's nice.
Authentic.
And Oda, although we don't see Oda's face, you could tell that he's excited to see this dude portray Luffy, because he was like, yo, when I looked at you, I'm like, yeah, he looks like the goofy motherfucker that I drew in the manga all these years. And just watching, like, the Luffy actor wrote like a little letter to him, and it was so touching. It was really, like, honestly, I'm not even a fan, and I want to watch it because of how wholesome that was.
Well, I saw this on stream before, folks, and they were a little close together. That was my only criticism, because I was on stream with Brandon, the anime guy, and it was a bit touchy-feely, closey. In my
That's just Japanese culture in general, bro. Like Eastern culture, it's a way of showing that they really care about you. It's not inherently gay. Just saying.
He's looking at it through the eyes of his European lenses. That's the problem.
Ryan lives on the island by himself.
It's
he doesn't know what it's like to interact with people.
Way of thinking.
I do love that they hide the mangaka's face with the picture. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, it's a big deal in Japan over there with like these manga authors wanting to protect their real identities from the public. Like they go by personas and everything, and that's why like this law where they wanted VTubers and some public manga artists to post like their real pictures for certain or real names for like certain tax documents blew out of proportion over there. But at the end of the day, like people over there kind of just adapt and that's it. They move on.
Yeah.
Well, they're basically celebrities. You know what I mean? Like they're that country's version of celebrities. I think they're probably some of the biggest celebrities in Japan.
Heavily introverted ones, though.
Well, I don't want a man to ever look at me like that.
I don't think a man ever would, Ryan. I don't think you have to worry about it. I really don't. Let me play this scene real quick. Just see what they say.
ルフィみたいな人間が見つかるのかっていう話です。だからいろんなオーディションの動画をたくさん見てて、石垣くんを見たときに。
Gotta pause the copyright. So I guess he's a very big fan of him, huh? Like,
and that's true. Like that's cool. To me, One Piece is that that extraction of that second. That is One Piece. That smile, that undefinite.
He looks like Luffy. Like he literally is Luffy. Like
I mean, this is one of the biggest compliments I think you could get from a fucking manga.
No, and in Japan, that's a big fucking deal. Him saying that shit. Sure. Like he's not sugarcoating like some people do. You know, in interviews, he is being genuinely serious about what he's telling this guy. It's just that people in the West are not used to getting like complimented this directly, but over there it's quite common. So that's what I'm just saying it for context for those in chat that don't know this, how it works over there is a very big deal is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I hope, and listen, I always want things to do like, I want I want these shows to do good. I really do. Like I think everybody genuinely does. But unfortunately, companies like Netflix, they have too much control over these things, and normally corporate side of Netflix usually takes over and says, "Oh no, we need to interject this and subvert expectations here and do all this nonsense," instead of just doing the opposite of what IGN wants to do. You know what I mean? Or people like IGN.
Right. And because One Piece is so long, folks, we could be seeing multiple seasons. I made the joke of 100 seasons, but if it does go on for a very long time, say a season a year, I mean, Oda is in his mid-50s, so I think he's got a good 20, 25 years left in him. But since his story is so long, Netflix could well run dozens of series of live action One Piece, although they'd have to find a way to keep the characters
to keep the
younger.
actors young. Exactly.
Well, also he's still going like with his manga too. So my guess is they don't want to go too fast either, because they probably want to give him time to actually write more manga that eventually leads to the end, because I'm sure they learned a lot of lessons from the HBO writers of Game of Thrones. What happens when the damn author is reluctant to write his sequel, even though he's getting money flooded in from all directions, and then you force the writers to just make up shit on the fly, which is why Game of Thrones kind of went downhill near the end. So I'm guessing they've taken that into account.
A little.
But I also think I think the good thing about this is that they have unlimited source material. Like they could last as long as the actors stay fairly young looking. That's essentially, time is going to be their biggest enemy, which is 100%. Why they're condensing the story as much as they are. I mean,
use Disney tech.
Leon said
even
that
with tech, though, it's you could see it. Like you can't. A lot of people call it out, and they're like, "This just looks weird." Absolutely. You know what I mean?
And also, Leon did mention in the chat yesterday that they covered, like, he was surprised they were able to cover like 80 anime episodes worth in a single season. So what they could probably do, if they are concerned about time, because a lot of these characters are relatively young. You know, most of them are like in between like 16 and 28 or 30 at most. Like most of the main characters, like they usually are very young.
Most of them are the old people.
Like you can resolve any problem as long as you stay, faithful to the material, or at least to the spirit of making like really an effort to kind of translate like the material, not some sort of an agenda.
And also what it seems like they're already doing is hiring actors who are actually passionate about it. Like I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the actor who plays Zorro, he's actually a martial artist and has, sword training. And when you go ahead and you hire a guy like that to play a character like Zorro, and the young man who's playing Luffy, like, these guys are passionate about it. They clearly care about it, and they're not opening their mouths and attacking fans, because they could have if they wanted to, because there was a lot of people who were already writing the show off as some woke Netflix bullshit. They were already writing it off, and the actors kept their mouths shut because they knew what was coming. They knew that it was gonna be good. They knew what they were working with, and they just they ignored the noise. They said, you know what, we're just gonna wait for this to come out. And I haven't watched it yet, but from everything I've seen, from all the reviews and just people in the community talking about it, it's looking promising.
Yeah, it surprised me. Like, it's generally good. They are really making an effort of like translating this faithfully, and it works. It's funny. The actors are great. They are really doing a great job, and it's interesting how sometimes they how they translated the comic books. It's interesting what they used. What kind of course you can debate whether or not there was a good choice stylistically, technically. If you could have done it you can debate that. But you can always, like, so far it seems like it comes from a good place. Like they really
unlike Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I'm literally saying that I'm not transitioning to Ahsoka just yet. I want to see that.
Yeah, I wanted to add in that, like, I don't know literally anything about this show, but it's awesome to hear people saying that it seems genuinely good, that is made with love, and looks like the actors are actually fans of it, because you don't fucking hear that anymore. Sad to say that that's like a thing that stands out as being a huge plus, but it is. It's really cool.
Well, it's amazing how something so simple as just doing that makes a big difference. You know what I mean? Like instead of hiring people like Rachel Zegler, like Peter said, that literally hate what they're doing. Like I think she wakes up every day and straight up hates playing Snow White, but she loves the attention she gets from playing Snow White, so she's gonna keep doing it, and it's a payday at the end of the day. You have someone like that versus someone like these people who are actually either fans of the work, right, of the original material, or have the capability to pull off the character due to whatever skill that they have. You know what I mean? Aside from being a decent actor.
Dude, you're a fucking actor. Get the script and flip out a fucking character that's faithful to the script without inserting any fucking agenda. Just do your job.
That's why I love Steven Seagal films. They get the job done.
Why everything has to be attached to a certain political label, kind of run for a certain agenda. Just accept the fact that you're an actor. So you're a bit privileged. Okay, so probably you also work.
But they're not actors.
Well, you're right.
They're activists.
And wait, Beardo. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but Coach here has been an actor for a very long time, and he is an actual acting coach. That's why when we talk about actors being pieces of shit lately, he gets most passionate out of everyone because he sees it all the damn time.
Understandable. Completely understandable.
No, but also, I'm invested also in talent over here. In Miami, we see a lot of great people that really truthfully just want to be great actors. They want to make it and want to be on stage, and they have talent. They have something, but of course, they're getting judged by some of the, extravaganzas in Hollywood instead of, being able to just promote their craft. And I'm just passionate about talent. And I feel like you can give people a lot, but just allowing them to express themselves.
Yeah, let's go back to 2003 standards, folks. We need to get out of 2023 standards.
Exactly, and that's the sad thing about it, is how hungry we are for good entertainment. Where the fact that we're praising this One Piece live action, where in reality, if this came out, let's say 20 years ago, granted, a lot of people probably weren't as interested in One Piece 20 years ago as people are now, as anime has kind of taken off in the past 5 years. The standards, the bar is low, very low. Yes. So just to get something like this, who knows, it could be mediocre, but we're all eating it up because it's finally something good.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking, dude. Like, I agree with Beardo, man. I really do. I think, like I said, I haven't seen it, but I do think that the crazy hype that's behind it right now is because it's actually decent, and a lot of people were shocked by that. And listen, I'll be honest. I was one of the people saying it's Netflix. You know what I mean? Like it's probably going to be shit, most likely, or it's going to have some sort of identity politics in it. And coming to find out, which I love being wrong in that scenario, that it's actually not that. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. And like I said, if I see, it works both ways. So if I see Shield Media websites coming out and attacking this show, I know I have to watch it. If I see Shield Media websites coming out and defending this show, chances are I probably have to avoid it. You know what I mean? And usually, like, the fan idea follows that mantra pretty closely, right? So I know that based off the fact that IGN is saying something like the adaptation is hindered by following the source material, I know that I probably should watch this, So whenever I do have time, I am going to watch it, probably do a review on it, but I'm glad everybody's enjoying it, though. That's awesome. That's what we need. We need more of that.
More the merrier.
You're all smarter than me because I'm watching Ahsoka.
Oh, man.
Second attempted segue for Ahsoka.
Hey, look.
No, you're right, because we live in a time where our indicators for whether or not we like something or whether or not we really value something, they are inverted. So every time, like, the public domain says it's bad, then probably it's good, right? And every time, like everybody's like claiming, I don't know, this is really, really outrageous and whatever, then probably it's really
it's double speak. It's Orwellian double speak.
It's all flipped. It's all upside down, right? It's crazy.
And usually those corporations like IGN have the same opinion as the quote unquote professional critics. So professional critics and show media websites are usually hand in hand. And the fans normally have an opposite reaction to that. You don't see it too often where they kind of have the same love or respect for whatever they're watching. You see it every now and then, but it's very rare. But with that being said, congratulations to One Piece for doing something so simple as following the source material. Let's talk about people. I want to get into this. Let's talk about people who clearly don't give a fuck about their fans until the very end. Cassie, come on, I need you for this one. I need you for this one. So, Volition has shut down. Okay, let me start it off. Volition has shut down after 30 years of making games, ladies and gentlemen. 30 years. Okay, so if you want a comparison in terms of like get woke, go broke, you know, that typical saying, this is probably one of the biggest examples we've seen in a long time. The most recent one of this magnitude was probably Bud Light in terms of how much money lost versus what they did in their previous history of being America's America's number one beer for like 22 years or something like that. And you gave it all up within one ad, right? This company did the same exact thing. They gave up their entire fucking 30-year legacy to basically make the wokest garbage that they could possibly make. And then on top of that, they did the opposite of what the One Piece actors did, and they attacked people for attacking their game proudly, loudly. I think on their official Twitter, even. They were, I think some of the people who worked on this game were doing it on their Twitters as well. This is literally one of the biggest examples of get woke, go broke in modern times. So, Cassie, what do you got to say about this? I'm so curious. Let it out.
It's really sad because, like, just think of Volition as a developer. They've made stuff like as insane as The Punisher back on PS2. That is one of my favorite PS2 games. They've made Saints Row. And, you know, it's one of those things where there's a lot of reasons why this has happened. It is the woke bullshit that is the new Saints Row, but you have to also take into account the fact that this is a developer that hasn't made a good game in over a decade. Like their last 4 games was like Saints Row 4, Get Out of Hell, Agents of Mayhem, and the Saints Row reboot. These are terrible fucking games. Yeah, and it's a shame. It's a shame because they used to make games that were never necessarily the best, like from a mechanics perspective, from like, you know, especially when they were competing with GTA. Like GTA, it was one of those what would always have like a release where they'd show like what modern gaming can do. And so like their whole goal, at least competing with GTA, you know, being Saints Row, was we're gonna be the fun factor, like the complete total fun factor, and just being the, you know, the rebellious game that is the fun factor. And that's why I love Saints Row. I remember coming home with the original Saints Row, just looking at the cover. I used to buy games for the cover in the back of the case back in the day. I remember coming home on a Sunday afternoon with that game. I remember it very distinctly and feeling like I was doing something wrong by playing this game. Like, you know, like it was so much fun. It's a shame to see Volition go down like this, but it is a product of their own doing. From the perspective of, you haven't made a good game in a really long time. Multiple games that you've released are broken piles of shit, and not for nothing, the new Saints Row is a woke piece of shit that turns its back on everything Volition shined for doing.
That is like very deliberate about it too.
Yeah, I will say though, folks, very bold. Volition went from one of the best developers in gaming, which collapsed, THQ, to one of the worst publishers, not developers, publishers in gaming. Why can't Deep Silver die? That's a zombie publisher. I hate Deep Silver. I just hate that publisher. Worse than EA. They've never made a good game.
They're like cockroaches.
I still can't believe that this is the company that allowed you to slap other people with dildos in Saints Row.
That's what I was gonna say. I remember like Saints Row 3 was my shit. I fucking loved that game. When I had a purple dildo bat, I couldn't even believe I was using that. And then this is the same company that's like, oh no, we need to make a new game based on modern standards and watch our microaggressions and stuff. I'm like, are you the same people? What the fuck is this? You're gonna bomb. No, it wasn't the same people. And not only that, they were so vicious about it, too. It's not only that they completely changed what made the game cool in the first place. It was an active, like, and fuck the old fan base, too, if you don't like it.
But they were so confident in that. That's like, where did you get that confidence from? I don't understand.
Like, talked into by their bosses, by their agendas, by their, you know, conventions, whenever they meet and they get, you know, the pile of folders where the whole thing is kind of written down and mapped out, and this is what they need to execute. They get this confidence by them, by their masters. They tell them, hey, this is fine, this is the new thing, this is the new trend, we're setting on this now, this is big, whatever, we're supporting this big time, blah blah blah. But then as soon as something happens, you know, you see where it goes when you leave your identity behind for the next play, for the next bigger income, or just to be part of the more like authoritarian group. What is it that you're looking for? Like more power and more money, right? In the end, you get greedy and you sell out your identity, and this is where you end up.
Well, Saints
that's
Row
what it really
4,
was.
Well, Saints Row 4 was one of Deep Silver's most successful games because all they had to do was put their logo on it, because they didn't have anything to do with it. It was fully developed just before THQ collapsed. Then Deep Silver bought Volition from the crumbling THQ and then released it as their own product when it wasn't. I can't stand Deep Silver. They, as I said before, they've never made a good game, and the sooner they go out of business, the better. THQ Nordic is a better publisher than Deep Silver.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. They really are.
From a company that used to sell fucking furniture, and then they bought THQ, the brand, and they're trying to stay true to what THQ was, although it didn't make enough money to survive back then.
Bro,
But
THQ Nordic is the reason why Kingdoms of Amalur got a remaster. It's the reason why people even know about a little-known German video game called Spellforce, okay? And now people know about it. And other games, by the way. They are literally, at this point, the only people I've seen that actually want to save and bring back old games or games that people may not know about.
Yeah.
They
Cancel
do a
Deep
great job
Silver
of
and
problem
sell to
is, like,
THQ Nordic. Go on.
The great thing about THQ Nordic is that they preserve the integrity of the games, the IPs that they own. Like, they've done, remakes of the Destroy All Humans games, and they did their best to hold to the essence of what those games are, even to the point of retaining the audio dialogue of the games. And to me, that's important. As someone that appreciates them retaining what makes these franchises their franchises, this is where Volition completely failed with the Saints Row reboot, and they doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down. The very moment that game was shown off, a huge portion of the community said, no, that's not fucking Saints Row. That is nothing like it. You're completely changing it up. You're trying to appeal to a whole new demographic of people that don't give a fuck about you or your company or the franchise. That is and they were willing to sacrifice what they had, the community that they had, to go after another community of younger people that don't give a fuck about you. And that is something that these companies continue to do, and a lot of them continue to fail. I'm sorry, like the reason why, like, as fucking woke and obnoxious Naughty Dog is, the reason why they're able to get away with the fucking dick face bullshit that they pull off is because they do make a quality product. You may not like it. I don't personally find their games to be that fun, particularly The Last of Us Part 2, but they still have a high quality product that they present to people, and that's why they're able to get away with a lot of bullshit they're able to get away with. When you watch Saints Row reboot with no DLSS support, the game is broken, buggy as shit, and on top of it, woke fucking dog shit. It really doesn't help what you're trying to do at all.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, not only does it have the message in it so hard, it's just a shit game in general. It doesn't work well.
I just like to correct what I said earlier. Nordic didn't sell furniture. They were actually a games company. I apologize for offending Nordic, but there
misinformation.
was
Misinformation, man.
I apologize. I'm not a news source. I'm not CNN.
But look at this. If you were, it's still misinformation. Look at this comment. This comment it's pretty much spot on. It says all you had to do was not protest the consumer. The consumer will always consume a good product. I loved all the Saints Row games, and then you spat in the faces with Aiden's in the last Saints Row. You let it all happen, and now because you hired activists, they cost hundreds of your employees their jobs and job security. Those I cry for. Rest in peace, Saints Row, and to you, Volition. I dedicate this song to you. I don't know what song, but I'm not going to play it. But still, like, that's basically it. You know, like they hired certain people. And you know what the problem is too? We have to bring back the ability to say no in a workplace, because the problem is that at work, everybody is so scared to offend everybody else. They're kind of walking on eggshells. Nobody wants to look someone in the eye and say, dude, that's probably a bad idea. You know, nobody wants to say that. So they let everything kind of go to be inclusive and to be accepting and nice and all this. and you end up with the most recent Saints Row. Somebody at a higher level convinced someone else at the bottom level that this is a game that needs to be made in order to make money, and nobody told that person, "Hey, that's a bad idea."
But Hypno, I'll tell you what happens. Okay, so those people that are in higher positions, okay, a good portion of them are going to do exactly what you say. They're going to make stupid decisions based off what they believe will do best. But in reality, most people below them, and a few of those in that same position, know it's probably a very terrible idea. The problem is those few that disagree with those many in that same level, they are terrified of losing their job and money, and on top of that, their work insurance. Because for those of you that don't live in America, if you get fired, and the best insurance usually comes from your job, and if you lose your job, you're kind of fucked with your health insurance. And so a lot of these employees on the lower and even higher end that disagree with these people are terrified that if they say no to these other guys, that they're going to lose everything, and then they're going to put their lives and families in jeopardy. And the thing is, I completely understand that. That is really, it's 100% understandable. But at the same time, if you want to keep your job secure for a long damn time, sometimes you have to stand up to someone being stupid and tell them in their face, bro, this is a really dumb decision. This is going to cost us and the company millions. Please reconsider your choice. Let's look at this with a second lens. Just
hasn't stopped Deep Silver before. They've made catastrophic choice after choice. And they're still in business.
I know Deep Silver has really touched Ryan in the wrong way.
Bro, from what I recall, Deep Silver got bought up by Embracer Group. So
isn't Embracer going through massive debt issues?
Fucking hell. Jesus.
Didn't they acquire? But that's because they acquired
acquiring studios.
Yeah, but you know why? Because Embracer acquired the rights. When I mean recently, I mean like in the last few years, they acquired the rights to be like an exclusive publisher of Middle Earth games, or games based off the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit IPs and so on and so forth. So of course they're gonna have a massive debt like Amazon had when they bought the rights to do their goddamn terrible.
They made Gollum.
They didn't make Gollum. A developer made it, but they gave the go ahead for it to be like they gave the funds.
That's one of the worst video games ever released.
I didn't even buy it. I just saw a clip of someone playing it, and I was like, God, this is god awful. And who thought in their head, let's make a game about Gollum, a character that is already good enough in the story. You do not need to flesh him out more. We already know enough. How about you make a story about something else?
At least from a gameplay perspective, it's probably one of the least interesting ideas I think I could think of.
Look, Hypno. Okay, look, guys, to be honest, Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, even though they were fan fictions, and even what's the name of the developer that made those two? I forget their names always.
Warner Brothers.
Not Warner Brothers, the development
studio. Published.
Yeah, Warner Brothers published it. I'm talking about the developer studio. Look it up for me, please. But the point is, the developers made it very clear a long while before they made the first
Monolith.
game. Thank you, Monolith. Yeah. Monolith made it very clear, developers made it very clear that they wanted to make a power fantasy with inspiration. There you go. See, that is a great game.
I love Shadow of Mordor.
I know. The Nemesis, they have the Nemesis system trademarked, by the way. It's only unique to them. So that is great.
And Monolith is also, they're making the new Wonder Woman game that's supposed to come out, I think, either next year or I don't think there's an official release date, but I'm assuming that's going to be next year. But man, the sword play in that Shadow of Mordor game was a complete entire ripoff of the Arkham combat.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was so good.
It's like old Blizzard, Beardo. Just grab the good stuff and make it better. Make it your own. It's not that hard.
And the the old saying is imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Like even look at the Spider-Man games. Like even that, like just the whole entire open world, and that is a ripoff of Arkham too. But just with Monolith, with what they did with the sword fighting and the Arkham style, with what they did in Shadow of Mordor, and if they're doing this Wonder Woman game, you can only imagine how good that's gonna be. I'm really excited for that game.
These are the devs that made Fear, which has some of the best AI in all of gaming still to this day, and as well as Condemned Criminal Origins, really great. Sort of 7 inspired horror game. I'm interested to see how this Wonder Woman game will pan out.
Yeah, but I do have to basically what I was trying to say is that with Monolith, at least, they made it very clear long before they made the first game that they wanted to make a power fantasy set in Middle Earth, and they made it clear that the story that you see in the games is obviously not going to be canon, but they just wanted to make a fun game with the Middle Earth setting. And you know what? You know what happened? They did it right. It was perfect. It was great. Was it kind of weird that I am a mega fan of Tolkien and I saw Italians fighting a freaking Balrog that came out of nowhere with some weird nature spirit? Yeah, but I don't care. It was fun. It was well done. The Balrog was threatening, and you alone, even with like the handmade ring of power that you and Celebrimbor's ghost made, is still not strong enough to beat a Balrog. You know what that means? They actually read the books. Balrogs are dangerous.
It wasn't disrespectful. It was inspired by the original work.
Exactly.
Right.
And the thing is, like, that's interesting, Sex. So $2 billion partnership with Warner. Yeah, I think. The word restructuring basically means like we had a falling out, and now we're trying
too much, and now we're fucked.
Yeah. No, and like I don't even know how they're gonna do it, because supposedly they were planning on making Middle Earth games, and now Amazon is getting ballsy again by going like, oh, that Middle Earth Second Age or whatever game MMO we were gonna make that we gave a huge budget for. You know how we canceled that? We're bringing it back, guys. And I'm just like, yeah, you're bringing it back because you're desperate for cash. And also because like you literally blew all the budget for that MMO on the first season of Rings of Power, and it still sucked. How do you do that? Because everyone that knows what's going on in the gaming space, like with Amazon at least, like you knew the reason Rings of Power's budget was so huge is because they took the money away from that other project and just loaded it all into one season.
It's pretty clear how you do that, though. You do that because nobody told you it was a bad idea. That's what I'm telling you. Like, you need people to tell you that certain things are a bad idea, and they're not. They're all just dragging each other off.
Yeah, and they were going to use the engine of New World, which at the time, well, let's just say was not very fleshed out. Now it's a little bit better, but like they want to use the same game engine that they created for New World. I don't even know how that's going to work, but whatever. Anyway.
You know what the funny thing is, though, kind of to piggyback off what Beardo said. So the Shadow of Mordor actually is proof that you can make a game that's not based in the source material too heavily, completely made up, and still make it very good.
Oh,
you know?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's just proof. Like,
creative minds.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to follow the exact mantra to the T, but as long as like you have that creative mindset of whatever the actual world is based in, and you have that style of that world, then I think you'll be fine.
And
that's
also,
the reason why One Piece is so good.
You can narrow it down to respect too for the source material, because you can do not necessarily a canon bit, whether it's a TV show or a video game. It's not necessarily in continuity, but it's a spin-off where it's an original idea. It's not in the canon, but you're still respecting it and respecting the fans. Whereas you get something that is complete bullshit, and they turn it woke, they turn it gay. Like look at the Superman comics where they made Superman fucking gay, or they make Tim Drake gay, and it's like, what are you doing here? Like this isn't original, this isn't canon, but you're also not respecting the material that you are that you are now privileged to be working with, because it is these people did not create the stuff. They got put in a good position because they are an activist. They got put in this position to be handed they got put in this position.
I mean, the reality
Not
is
only that,
they do this type of shit to spite you as a fan.
100%.
I was gonna
to
say,
spite the
100%.
people that created this stuff.
At least they're not tranny
actively
demons.
The shapes of the head. They are
They
representing
actively
the
hate
heart.
these projects they work on. They hate these characters.
I think they more so hate what the characters stand for.
Yeah.
Right? Like think about what Superman stands for. You know what I mean? I think they
Truth,
hate that
justice,
more
the
than the
American
actual
way, apple
than the
pie,
actual character.
baseball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Heterosexuality.
Gets the woman,
Yep.
gets the American dream, all that stuff. Like that's what they hate. So
Yeah.
it is pretty obvious that when they make stuff like this, that this is their goal. It's not only to subvert expectations or whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
It's literally to destroy everything that came before so they can remake it in their image.
And it's because
basically
they hate the fans that like the original product.
Yeah.
Oh, the fans that like this, they're straight, they're heterosexual. They believe in, they're, I don't know, not all of them are conservative, but let's say maybe, they have some sort of conservative, true American values and everything. And the fans that, the people, the activists that get a hold of this, they're so bitter against the fans that find enjoyment in this. You can even relate this to Star Wars, current Disney Star Wars as well. They are so fucking bitter towards the fan base that they get a hold of the product, and then they not only want to put their own twist on it, but they want to spite the fans.
You're right, and they want to spy what came before too.
Yep.
Yeah, and also I do need to make it clear. Somebody in chat did make a point. The gay Superman that we're talking about is technically Superman's son, but it still does not change the fact that that's even worse, because what they're trying to do is trample on the legacy. Basically, they're trying to say, "Oh no, what's important about Superman's son is that he is gay as can be." It's not like they don't even. I haven't seen the comics. You guys can correct me.
Not only that, they made him a fucking climate activist.
Okay,
They made
there we
Superman
go.
a climate activist, bro.
Superman saves the world, and the world turns his only son into a homosexual.
I mean, look, let me put it this way. Why did they could have easily, and again, I do not know why they don't do this shit, but that tells you like the people that are involved in this truly do not know the character they're trying to make an alternate version of. Okay. So for example, as far as I understand, like I have seen enough movies or shows from the past and even some current day where, the character is the son of this person who is notable for having these specific character qualities, and the son expresses those two in a slightly different way, but still maintains the core, but they're homosexual. In those cases, guess what? You can still like those characters because they still express the actual original important qualities that matter. Okay, nobody would have given zero fucks, okay, if Superman's son was made gay, if he was expressing the qualities of the original Superman, but at the same time, what the hell is going on over there?
Guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but
she's not under the table.
I do have an intruder.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Steph. I don't know if she can hear us.
Hello.
Here.
Sorry, I thought you were under the table.
Is that a short joke, Ryan?
No, it was another joke. Hello.
How are you, Steph?
How you doing?
Welcome back to the stream.
Yeah, welcome back.
Beardo's like, God damn it, this is my time.
I don't want to interrupt Beardo's time.
It's been hijacked.
We're talking about gay Superman.
The woman comes in and kicks him out.
Dang.
I'll leave it to Beardo. Okay.
All right, cool. Oh man.
Hilarious. But yeah, so it really is ridiculous, man. And let's I guess we could segue into Ahsoka since that was brought up. But first, let's do super chats before we go into Ahsoka, because Ahsoka is going to be quite interesting, I think. Beardo, can I request your help with super chats tonight? I think people want to hear the epic voice.
All right, here we go. Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch 40199 says, Beardo, lock it in. What's up, Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch, you legend?
See, I can't do that. That's why.
Emily's whimsical world for a $5 Canadian says, "Hope you feel better soon, Hypno."
Thank you, Emily. I appreciate you.
David Nelson for a 199 says, "Thanks for reviewing this. I liked it a lot."
Love the Trump picture, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Ice Kings for a 50. Says, late to the celebration of the 1-year anniversary Hypnotic, but who the hell is cult classic Cage maining in Mortal Kombat 1?
Good question. What are you meaning, Cassie?
None of the
Nobody.
women.
I'm not playing that fucking game. Are you
Really?
kidding me? It's a terrible iteration of Mortal Kombat. I don't even need to play it to tell.
The only reason I'm slightly intrigued is because of maybe a normie view, but I'm excited for Homelander and Omni-Man in it.
Fair enough.
I mean, I don't blame you. It isn't like, the canon characters to the franchise have been done any fucking justice at all, right?
Exactly.
All the women look ugly.
Mortal Kombat died with Midway, folks. I think we can all agree with that.
That's not true. Mortal Kombat 9 was flames. That was NRS proving that yes, we can make games. We can make a good fighting game. And then after that, they're just like, well, we already proved that, so we don't have to try. We just have to get the normies on board to buy our bullshit and keep it moving. That's really what it is.
I played the Mortal Kombat I played the most was X. Did you like X, Cassie?
X was good.
Yeah.
I love X because they literally made Cassie Cage, a person that shares the same first name as me, and she happens to be exactly like me. So and then they went and ruined her in 11. They made her a shittier character. But that's where I get the Cassie Cage alias from. We share the same first name and we share a lot of character qualities. So
do you feel like 11 came out too close after X?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy how quick Injustice 2 died.
I know. Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's like they had the TMNT at like the end of the game's life cycle, and it came out so late, but apparently those were like some of the best characters that they made for DLC content. And it's like, why didn't you guys just keep that alive for longer? And now they're forcing yet another Mortal Kombat, so it just feels like there's just too much Mortal Kombat, and a lot of it just doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Double Brewski for a $5. Sometimes I think we are trapped in a horror film where all of society has been infiltrated by left-wing ideology. That film is called The Wokening.
He's not wrong.
Somebody's going to come up with that. Somebody's going to make that into a movie.
Well, the game is up, folks. I gotta take my costume off. Take off the nose. The eyes. It's all over.
It'll be directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Otherwise, it won't be
like old.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt.
Ice Kings for a $5. Can we get the finger point from Beardo?
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
There you go, Ice Kings. David Nelson for a 199 says, thanks for the entertainment from the 199 Legion with a sunglass emoji.
There you go.
Wow.
Why are you trying to get us demonetized?
This is the one that
maybe I should read this one.
FBA for a $5. What is your guys' favorite X video? I don't know what that is. What are you talking about? Can you be more specific?
I don't even understand the reference.
He obviously knows what that is.
No, I know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Amazing. And also, real quick shout out to Panther111 for 1 gifted Hypnotic membership and Bruce Banner for 5 gifted Hypnotic memberships. Thank you guys so much for all your consistent support. It's been amazing. Much appreciated. All right, Beardo locked it in. I appreciate the super chat call outs because my voice sucks tonight. Coach, what are you drawing?
Whoa, that's awesome.
Oh, that's is that like a New York corner or
sort of a New York vintage?
Yeah.
A little bit is actually accurate, and then I kind of place some fantasy buildings blocked in.
Nice.
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
sick.
Kind of looks like Gotham-esque a little
recently passed 1700, and it's still there.
There you go, Ryan. Congratulations, sir. 1700 Klansmen and counting. Love it.
There you go.
Oh my god, dude.
And some of them are black too.
1700 torches.
Hey,
and it'll only
gotta sacrifice someone sometime. So. All right, now we're gonna get into Ahsoka because episode 3 Episode 3 is going viral. I haven't watched it. I only watched a couple of clips from the actual episode, one of which that space battle that's been going viral. What do you guys make of it? Like, who has watched it? Who has watched
I'm
it?
the only person here who has watched it.
I saw the scene.
I refuse.
I saw the scene. It was mental.
Yeah. Look, Wyatt, I will join you in hell eventually. Let me finish doing my good movie review, and then I'll join you in hell
We
and
have
watch
such
all
sights
of them.
to show you, like Ahsoka flipping through space.
Thanks videos where I watch Ahsoka.
There's gotta be
That's great.
on there of that.
There's gotta be a
That's
ton
probably
of Ahsoka
a
videos.
better version of Ahsoka than what's out on,
More
it's out
lore
on Disney
accurate.
Plus right now.
Probably
You've all seen
makes
that
better
video where
facial
it's,
expressions
you've
than
all seen the
Rosario
video where it's
Dawson.
Obi-Wan telling Luke about Ahsoka, and he makes it like we were gangbanging her the whole time. It was...
Oh yeah.
No,
I'm sure
yes,
there's
wait,
better
you're
CGI
talking about the
too.
edit. You're talking about old
Yeah,
Ben
the
talking to Luke?
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
I've seen that. Yes, that is fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant.
Tiki.
And Cassie is flashing her pussy.
There you go.
Hey, yo, bro.
Hey.
No
Hey, man,
chill.
come on now.
No chill.
Ryan has no chill. There is no chill in this stream ever. It would be much worse if Atreus was here.
Boy.
Yeah.
We would have N bombs being dropped left and right.
Yeah,
Look, Wyatt, here's what I'm gonna do, okay? You're gonna call out the detailed crap, and then I'll follow right after you because we both have experience in being submerged in Disney Star Wars manure. So I will probably know exactly where it all goes wrong.
Well,
even
honestly,
though I've not watched anything.
Honestly, there's not much detail to filling because it was a 30-minute long episode of complete filler, and it was weird to me because the series
Big
is
surprise.
The series is 8 episodes long. That was the 3rd episode, so it's almost halfway through already. And at the ending of the last episode, the bad guys are talking about the hyperdrive they're building to go find Thrawn, the thing they're looking at right now. At the end of this episode, Ahsoka discovers that they're building a hyperdrive to go find Thrawn. And they act like it's this big, like, whoa, big reveal moment. Like we already knew that. Going into this
exactly. From
episode.
Rebels. Yeah, from Rebels.
Yeah, we don't get the shock because if you hadn't told us at all and then mentioned, it's to find Thrawn, maybe
look at those tentacles, folks.
Anyway, yeah, this is stupid fuck. So the Imperials break her ship. So she goes out with her fucking lightsabers that are like, what, 4 feet long? Against 3 spaceships, all in the vastness of space. And these ships could just park a distance away and just unload on her until she was fucking dead or just floated off into space. But instead, all of them decide to kamikaze straight fucking into her so she can reach them with her fucking lightsabers.
Imperial pilots at their finest.
But plus, I mean, the elephant in the room is the fact that if a ship fires on a
my god, she's
being,
space
right?
Jesus.
She's space worse than Leia.
Okay. I'm not trying to interrupt.
No, lay it in, guys.
I haven't watched this show, but what pisses me the fuck off the most, what grinds my gears, Obi-Wan was 6 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Obi-Wan is the definitive Jedi in Star Wars. I know Luke Skywalker and Anakin, but it's in the whole grand scheme of things, if we're talking the original saga 1 through 6, Obi-Wan is the definitive perfect Jedi. He is the Jedi. If you say Jedi in Star Wars, if you say Jedi Star Wars, the first person that should come to your brain is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. He is the Jedi for Star Wars. His show gets 6 fucking episodes. Andor, I don't even give a fuck how you pronounce it. Andor, a dude who was in one movie, died like a little fucking bitch in the one movie. He gets 12 episodes on Disney Plus. Nobody gives a fuck about Andor. Disney thinks that this is their Hispanic Han Solo. Fuck Andor. He gets 12 episodes. Nobody gives a fuck about Andor. Ahsoka, who is a Dave Filoni fucking fetish, who like you've never even seen her, but like you've never seen her in live action before Disney got a hold of fucking Star Wars. She gets 8 episodes, and Obi-Wan gets 6, and it's not even just 6 good episodes. He is sidelined by fucking Reva.
Grievous is going to get
son
7.
of a bitch! This is
Kenobi
Obi-Wan
shows
Kenobi,
everything.
and he's getting sidelined by Reva, and then Ahsoka gets 8 episodes, Andor gets 12. Like, that shit, that is why I'm checked out. That's why I do not watch this shit. I will not watch it, because this isn't Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
General Grievous will get 7 episodes, Beardo, and Count Dooku will get 9.
I just couldn't help but think watching the scene that how gravity in space actually works or doesn't work. And I picture her jumping up and she just fucking floats off in a single line.
I mean, look, I'll just say this because I do also want to hear what Coach thinks about my analysis on this. But okay, Jedi. At least if you watched like one of the the Clone Wars movie animation that was made by the guy who made Samurai Jack.
Those ships could just stay still and not fucking go to order.
But here's the thing, okay? At least from if you know EU lore, you know that depending on the training of the Jedi, they could use the Force to sort of manipulate the gravity around them and keep themselves standing. Maybe do these flips so that that the anti-gravity from space doesn't take them. But the thing is, they don't even show. This is how lazy they are. They don't even show a special effect or a sound effect, even the bare minimum, to kind of give you the indication.
Oh, girl boss,
she's using
girl
the Force.
boss.
Yeah. Where they don't show anything.
Shields? Where is the ship shield?
First of all, let me just say, there is a role-playing game that came out from East West Games, and they were authorized by Lucas Games. So when Star Wars was made as a role-playing game, I think it was like back in the 80s. So they kind of put down all the data and they collaborated with Lucas because they wanted to have like a very realistic role-playing game that kind of translates the feeling of Star Wars, like if you were playing it. And so therefore they, when it came down to, of course, like when a machine is firing at you, for example, in this scene, right? Of course, the scale of the beam that the machine fires is bigger and larger. The blast is going to be way bigger than like a firearm, like a personal arm, right? The scale is way, way, way smaller. And so even if in the role-playing game you could have done this somehow, if you were an experienced, like an ultra experienced Jedi master, you can pull off stunts like that. But even the scale of the laser beam, even if you have a lightsaber, it disperses. It should hit you.
I've been thinking.
And working with so many inconsistencies, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's not even.
I'm sorry, Coach, but like that's been driving me crazy with Disney Star Wars. Is that when they're taking a lightsaber blocking a blast from a fucking ship, that should just chop them in half.
Way bigger.
Just go right through them.
But also, they don't even bother to show the fact that at least most Jedi, if you know about some EU lore, you know that a Jedi could train themselves to emit a powerful force field that can at least protect them from the blast, or they could just move away or redirect the trajectory using the force of the beam.
Right, they could.
No, we need her to go out and space with a fucking sword.
Even move the starship itself. Like they can move even the starship itself with a certain amount of force.
Dude, you remind me of Star Killer. Like you guys remember when you played the Star Wars The Force Unleashed game and Star Killer like just pulled that damn warship down.
Yeah,
and, like the amount of strain he had to do because he has literally.
Yeah. Well, the ship was kind of already falling a little bit, right? The ship was already.
It was in low orbit, shooting at him because that's how dangerous Starkiller was. He was like on Darth Vader levels of power. But the thing is, Lucas Arts just pussied out of making that story canon because that would mean Anakin and his bloodline wasn't special. He was just one of few outliers. And on top of that, Star Killer, okay, every single time you played him, you could see the man could emit his own little force field to protect himself from a blast from the ship's attacks, okay? But the thing is, like, he could only do it for so long, and at a certain point, even like him pulling down the ship while it's in orbit, you got to understand, these ships have anti-gravity engines
Absolutely.
and a field that protects them from blasts.
That you pull off, like, right, Dragon. But the thing, whether or not we're discussing like the technicalities here, these are just details. Like,
yeah, they're details. I know.
One little fragment of proof that they don't give a fuck.
They don't.
But one thing I have seen, I haven't seen the show, but I've seen some spoilers and details and stuff and some rumors. Isn't there a rumor that Starkiller might be an Inquisitor undercover?
There's been a rumor of that.
And he voices him. Sam Witwer voices that character.
Yeah,
but
he
that would
quite a
mean
few
that he's
characters, I
just
think.
pretending to be weak as hell when he could easily kill someone
Disney
like
will
Ahsoka.
ruin another character.
You know what
Tying
it'll
up a
be?
loose
Exactly, Ryan. You're exactly right. You know what it'll be? Is that Inquisitor will reveal himself to be Starkiller, and Ahsoka will make him look like a little bitch.
Yeah, and kill him
But
immediately.
Then they'll bring
Starkiller
in the
joined the
Yuzong
rebellion.
Fong and do the same. Because it's a thing that could
Damn,
save
Atreus.
Star Wars. They come in, try and wipe out the universe, breaks down the fabric of reality. You could have a multiverse story and fix everything during that story and get rid of
The only thing I'm
that's not going to happen.
Look, I'm just worried that Disney Star Wars will try to turn Revan into a bitch because they are trying. You saw their little timeline and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do Old Republic finally," and I'm like, "No, stay away from Old Republic. Stay away from Revan. Don't even touch him. He's already too damn good. I do not want him to get screwed over because you guys are little pussies that don't want to actually try when you're getting paid a lot of money, at least the high executives. I don't know about the normal work employees, but at least the high executives and producers are getting paid a lot of money to do this. And you would think that if you're getting paid that much, you would give a shit so you can keep your job. But no, you're instead playing this little game of hot potato with yourself where you think that you're never going to get burned. And then when you do, you complain online like a little wuss saying, "Oh, they're a bunch of misogynists and racists. They kicked me out because they didn't like my version of Ahsoka." Screw off. I don't give a fuck. They can go screw themselves, okay? I want good Star Wars. Can we please get good Star Wars
is
for
dead.
Christ's sake?
Star Wars
I
is
want
dead.
$1,000 worth of headphones, but I have to settle with 10.
The best Star Wars that's being put out is sadly the Jedi Survivor games, and the thing is they're mediocre as fuck. They do not, all of the more Jedis that they make survive Order 66, it completely defeats the whole point of what was Order 66. But with that being said, I actually find enjoyment out of those Jedi games, the EA Jedi games, with the Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. And it's so sad that is what the state we are at with Star Wars. That is the best form of Star Wars content that we are getting.
I prefer Tales of the Jedi myself.
Tales of the
my
Jedi
only criticism is that they're too short, but apart from
Tales of the Jedi, Ryan, is an exception to the rule. And with Andor, by the way, Beardo, it's kind of funny you say that because
it's a boring political drama.
Look. That's the thing, though. That's the crazy thing. Until episode 5, this is what annoys me. And I could understand why people dropped out of that show.
There are 12 episodes, Dragon. Yeah. Episode 5, that's nearly halfway, Dragon.
No, I know. But here's the thing. What annoys me is that they actually expect with what they've been putting out, like before that show came out, with what they've been putting out, they are so arrogant to think that it is expected that when a new Star Wars show comes out, that even if it's good, people should watch it all to the end because it's the only way you're going to get Disney Star Wars. And so with Andor was this weird, unique case where after episode 5, all of a sudden it turns into this great thriller masterpiece, but with great
41.5% of the story completed, Dragon.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, why?
And 5 episodes in, it's finally starting to get good when Obi-Wan can only get 6 episodes.
I know, bro. And that's what annoys me. And with Andor, they could have easily, like, taken 2 out of those 5 episodes out because 2 of them were.
You ruined Boba Fett, my all-time favorite.
They ruined Boba Fett.
They made him
Mando out of nowhere.
I was still like,
they had it on a silver plate, and what did they do with such an incredible character? It's unbelievable. They crushed everything. They fucking crushed everything into the ground.
Really did.
And Mando, like, you know that, I don't know if any of you guys watched the Boba Fett show, but like the
Boba Fett. I mean,
no. And the crazy thing, Coach, is when I was watching the Mandalorian season 3, I was always wondering, like, man, a lot of the fights Mando is getting himself into, he could have them easily solved with that handy spear from the last season. What happened to it?
Yeah,
and I had to go. No, I found out.
Talking about the Darksaber?
No, like the Beskar steel spear that he used on what's his name, Moff Gideon in season 2 when he fought him.
Holy
one-on-one.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, okay? I was curious about it. I was like, what the hell happened to damn spear? Because I was doing a review on it. And I look up and I find a clip from like the last episode of Boba Fett. Okay. It was just funny because they put 2 episodes that are meant for Mandalorian season 3 in Boba Fett because Kathleen Kennedy is a witch that likes to burn shit. Okay. And I find out that the reason this dude has no handy spear is because the armorer woman is like, that spear is too dangerous, man. Like, this this metal that's made to protect us shouldn't be used for offense, man. How about you burn it, dude? And then he's like, you know what? You're right. I'm a dumb bitch. Burn it. And then after she burns it, she makes this little, like breastplate for Grogu. And I'm like, you fucking idiot.
This is what
he's a Jedi. He can just jump around.
They discuss Grogu.
No, don't even get me started on that crap.
Dude.
He abandoned training with Luke Skywalker, the most powerful Jedi of that time. And Grogu is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go now, man. I like my Mando. What? Why?
Flipping all the way home.
Dude, that's just, they literally have Grogu like flipping into a ship and flying himself. Yeah, dude, fuck yourself. Fuck all of you.
Bro, I showed this and I was like...
I genuinely really fucking liked the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. And I thought...
I did too.
Yeah, and the ending when he goes off with Luke, I thought was great and like emotional. And then they're like, never mind.
I like the old ship, not the Naboo Star.
Yeah, like the new one is
the old ship, right?
I guess it's cool design and everything, but it doesn't fit for Mando at all.
And
the other one was way fucking cooler.
It's a bounty hunter ship.
Right.
The other one was literally like Yeah, it was like a gunship from like the Clone Wars that he smuggled in, that he outfitted.
And you saw him like inside it and everything.
His new ship. I didn't watch season 3, but I've seen some. His new ship is kind of like the from episode 1 from Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it's like one of the
recrafted like Naboo Starfighter.
The Naboo ship. Yeah.
And they just like pimped it out of it.
So here's a question for you guys.
Sure.
Other than Disney's incompetence with their shows and obviously and everything, do you think that half of the reason or part of the reason why Mando was so cucked in season 3 was because Pedro Pascal is just so disinterested in playing the character?
It's a part of it.
That.
It's definitely Kathleen Kennedy got her hands too far into it. She fired Gina Carano with going behind. Yeah, that whole situation. But so I think it's a combination of her getting her hands too far into it and Jon Favreau, for one, just getting thrown off his own show. Yeah, he gave up in his own show.
He literally said he gave up.
Yeah, and then combined, Pedro was already starting to feel that way for sure, and I think that was definitely the last straw. I've heard from sources close to Pedro that he's over it completely.
I can answer Tay Jasper's question about Kathleen Kennedy, why she still has a job. I can answer that question. She is the Hillary Clinton of Disney.
She's under every table.
She is the Hillary Clinton of Disney. She has so much fucking dirt on everybody at Disney. She is unfireable because if people try to go after her, she will literally have people killed. That's like she will Epstein somebody at Disney and Lucasfilm if they try to go after her. I'm not afraid to say it. Kathleen Kennedy is the literal Hillary Clinton of Disney.
She really is. That's why I call her the Kennedy witch, because you see, it is the most accurate representation. And I have to show this because I did show, because everybody mentions
she
Kathleen
knows
Kennedy.
where Epstein's client list is.
Oh yeah. This is what I really think of her. Okay,
she's not a witch. She's a demon.
This is the witch. This is the real
tranny demon.
She's a demon.
No, she is worse than that. She is an old, frustrated woman.
Like potentially a witch doesn't necessarily need to be a negative term, right? The witch stands for wisdom. It stands for old power. It stands
not with this one though.
But this is just a demon. She's not even a witch.
A demon. You're right. But here's the
strong
thing.
words.
No, but he's right though. The thing is, like, and what's insane, this woman worked with Lucas for the longest time.
She went and got him coffee and water.
Oh yeah, but
she literally she was like, George, do you want a donut? Do you need more coffee? Do you need more? That's all she fucking did. Like, she gets credits in Indiana Jones and shit like that. She didn't do jack shit.
Oh, I'm
she
sure.
was fanning George Lucas and Steven Spielberg on the side when they were hot on set. She had no kind of creative input at all, and it clearly shows.
So she used the Bob Iger strategy of just flattering and worming your way through everything. Through sheer
under the
determination.
table.
Watching
She was
the
under
old
the table, folks.
Watching the old interviews with like her and George when they first sold it to Disney, it's like heartbreaking to watch.
It is heartbreaking. What a lying fucking cunt she was.
1,000%. Like, and I only like, you can definitely think what you want about Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and all them in real life, but to think about, I feel like they were completely fucking lied to when they all signed up for the next group when Disney bought it, and then were just pulled the rug out from right under them.
Yep.
John, you might be right in a lot of things, and this is 100% correct. With Star Wars, at least, like, I just noticed just the way Disney was handling Star Wars. So, first off, they hire directors that they say directors and producers and writers. They just hire people in general that have no passion. They just don't care about Star Wars. They just see it more as, just another sci-fi universe like the Star Trek movies or shows I worked in, right?
No, Star Wars stands for something. That's why they're killing Star Wars.
No, they stand for they stand
it
for
was the indie
good.
movie that made $1 billion.
In a way, is the new Hollywood.
Changed
Hollywood
cinema.
wouldn't be there if it's if not for Star Wars.
It's the most successful independent movie ever.
Exactly.
No, and that's the crazy
$1 billion
thing.
by today's money, factoring
Because
in
it stands
inflation.
for something. It stands for the will of creativity. It stands for the power of inventiveness, of sticking to a plan, collaborating, that kind of elbow grease, but also fantasy and irrationality, right? We don't want to promote that. So the whole message of Star Wars needed to be destroyed in order to kind of, bring down the temple of light, because Star Wars stood for something for many generations. Star Wars kind of was that beacon, like we're all perceiving it, like craftsmanship, great storytelling, beautiful actors, and then a disruptive product, all these things, right? And Star Wars is more like an emblem for a whole generation.
Rebellion against the Empire, as the originals were, which is kind of what we're seeing today in one way, shape, or form, folks.
Dude, it's so I just finished reading the Thrawn trilogy, which was fucking incredible. And now that I have all the context and everything, looking back, I'm like, what Disney should have done was immediately just went into that series. I know the actors were older than they're supposed to be. Figure it out, make like little changes to do it, but stay as close to it as you fucking can.
And hire a wizard to play the bad guy.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought that for Thrawn back in the day should have been Hugo Weaving. Would have been fucking perfect.
Oh no,
perfect.
And then Kiboth, William Dafoe.
Oh,
yeah.
That would have been
that like I saw the face and I was like, good lord, that is.
When I was reading the final scene, no spoilers for people watching, but the final part with him, I was reading, it was like picturing William Dafoe the whole fucking time.
They had it on a silver plate. They had everything they needed. The books were there. Just fucking do movies out of those books.
So it's funny, now that I just finished the trilogy, I'm watching Ahsoka to see how fucking badly they push her.
Did George Lucas not say in that interview that Wyatt was talking about with Kathleen Kennedy that he had outlines for
he did.
7, 8, and 9,
and they just threw it away.
And that bitch threw it in the trash.
Yep, 100%.
And then when one of the three directors, I forget what his name, the director for episode 9, I believe, the one that left. I mean, not
Trevor Rao. Was that his name?
I believe so. He had like this great idea for the 9th movie where Rey was going to experience.
Yeah, I read that entire script.
Yeah. But like, look, it was going to be something so fundamentally like massive, so big that it would disrupt the industry. You know what it was? We're gonna have our up to now mega powerful female character experience massive defeat and have a learning moment so she becomes a better person and more powerful to defeat her enemy.
That's never happening. No, these women have to be invincible. They have to. Did you not see that space battle in the 3rd episode?
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm tired of this crap. Like,
reading these books, and now I know who Mara Jade is. And I was like, you could have had a fucking fantastic female character that people would have loved.
But the thing is, these people do not know how to write female characters. And, you know, before some people go in there and say, oh, because it's written by men. No, a good portion of these writers are also women, and they still can write a good female character.
Are they real women? Are they real women, though?
They write men in women face. That's what they write.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what annoys me. And by the way, what I'm going to say right now, it's not misogynistic or whatever. It's actual truth. And even normal women will fucking agree with me.
Here comes the misogyny.
Oh, fuck it. Let's just rain down in misogyny. Cover yourselves in misogyny, brothers. Okay? We're going to go on it. Look, guys.
I'm listening.
Hey.
She said, I'm listening.
Look. When, for example, the concept of femininity, they have that shit all fucking wrong. They think that they have to be like super manly. They always need to get the job done. They need to always be dominant in whatever relationship they're in. When, for example, in the prequels, Padme was a very interesting feminine character, and she was fleshed out more in Clone Wars. Not only was she strong, but she was also very kind and understanding
and
of
hot.
Anakin and his situation.
Politically sharp.
Yeah, exactly. But that was her strength. She had a different, unique strength that only she, because she is a woman, but also
she had originality for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't write these female characters as individuals. They think like a lot of writers have this issue where they can write they either can or cannot write a female character, but if they write a female character, they also forget to turn that female character into an individual that is unique based for that plot and for the situations that are happening.
They spread all this bullshit that they want a strong female character, and then they don't write a good character. So they
like Ahsoka was a good character because, like, at least in Clone Wars. Like, I'm not talking about this show. Like in Clone Wars, she was strong in the sense that, unlike other Jedi, she had to use more of her wit and speed because physically she wasn't as strong as other lightsaber wearing people. So she had to figure out how to get around that, and her strength was her agility and wit, and that was further enhanced by the relationship of father and daughter, because people always think, oh no, she was
developed
just a Padawan
over time while Maul just stayed the same.
Exactly.
I think most people agree that she's pretty awful in the very beginning.
Yeah, but
like I said before, they're too busy writing women that act like men. Yep. They don't actually write or develop women that act like women. Like they're so scared of femininity. It's like it's weird to them.
That makes them strong. You know what I mean? I think of
but because they are inherently sexist in nature. They act like they are feminists, but they absolutely hate women because they hate femininity. They ignore it entirely.
They hate real women.
They erased any romance out of these stories, any true romance.
This is true.
Like,
and then when they try to force it in episode 9, when they have Kylo and Rey kiss each other, and so that she can live and he can die, and that was literally just a fucking payoff for the weird fucking Raylos who happened like the fucking.
There was nothing leading up to that. It was
nothing. It was random. It was out of the blue, and it was only to appease the weird Raylo fucking simps.
These characters emotionally placed. They act like
they have no placement.
Right? And you insert some floppy disk like a Mission Impossible, right? The floppy disk.
Download emotion.
We need to say this line, and they don't make sense structurally.
You have to understand, like honestly, you know, all feminism, you know, for the past 40, 50, 60 years has brought, besides it being cancer, you know, it has just brought misery to women. How can a woman, a character that you like in a story, be happy if she never has someone that she can be in love with, if she never can share that relationship with, if she can never go on to eventually perhaps have children, if that's what she wants to do, pass on her lineage. Like, how can a woman be happy when they're fucking alone and miserable?
Okay,
and have a job.
Human concept, though. That is basic human need. It applies to both ends, but the thing is, they don't even understand the concept of a human connection.
Because they're not human.
They're not human.
Look, Jean Grey is my favorite X-Men character. What are her traits as a character? She's empathetic. She's sympathetic. She is the heart and soul of X-Men. That's why when you actually read the Dark Phoenix saga, it hits so fucking hard, because she is the heart and soul of the X-Men, and she's fighting with this entity that controls her body. And it is the most intense comic book story that I've personally ever read. And to watch how it plays out, to watch her do what's right for the love of her family, for the love of life, like she goes on to choose to sacrifice herself, and that is that's what makes womanhood beautiful. That's why I think that she's one of the greatest fucking characters. A traditional man cannot portray that type of character, and that's what's unique about Jean Grey. And it's the same. That this is a quality that these female characters that are made today do not share. A man could fill the same shoes; they can feel the same, except that since they're a dude, you know, it really just there's nothing unique to these characters. They're all just men. They really are just like men and women
skin suits. You mean
quality of the characters? You know, so all of a sudden everybody has to fucking play like they're robots, right? Nothing is really touching them. Nothing is really like, and so therefore you can portray characters that are believable, that are enticing, that we kind of, you know, also root for as an audience member, right? These characters, they don't mean anything to us. Therefore, we can root for them. Therefore, we're not entangled with the story. And that's why all these stories seem to be so flat.
Well, every hero needs an evil to fight against. And for all the great franchises that have fallen, Star Wars being the main one, as it were, all the heroes before, you know, the villainous corporation took over had this mantra, as it were, that evil cannot stand, no matter the risk, no matter the cost. And we don't have that anymore, because the evil fuckers are running the show with their money-grabbing nonsense, as it were. So you don't get stories like that anymore, because if you did, it would highlight the true problem with entertainment and in popular culture, and even in the political realm. And that's the damn establishment.
Maybe you're right.
Hypnotic, how political are we allowed to get on this podcast?
I don't care. Go ahead.
You don't care?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, it's not too deep. I just think that Hollywood and politics and government are so closely intertwined nowadays. And with the whole climate of feminism and getting women into the workplace, obviously getting women into the workplace and not staying at home, obviously that's a clear way to increase government taxes, so that, you know, instead of just having the man pay income tax, now they have found a way to manipulate it to get men and women paying both income tax, and also less children, population control, everything. You know, people aren't producing children as much as they used to. And that the Hollywood is preaching that message. Not only is it in politics, but now Hollywood is preaching that same mantra. And that is where you get the girl boss who doesn't need a man, who is invincible, and there's no love interest there. There's no love story. There's no children.
There's no bluffing. There is no nothing.
Yep, there's no.
It's
just the politics and Hollywood being so closely intertwined that not only are we getting it in the real world, they're trying to preach it through our entertainment as well.
100%.
Yeah, and Beardo, here's something very interesting. Okay, you said that's what we're trying to promote to women, and you know what the result. You know what the result is of that concept. That you get a lot of angry, depressed people who don't know how to form human connections, and then they do the same thing to men, where they tell them, "Oh, just work your ass off, get a lot of money, get whatever you want, and then go." I'm sorry for phrasing, but go fuck some bitches. Who gives a fuck about them? You don't need that connection, boy. You big, strong man. You don't need no woman.
Atreus isn't here, Dragon.
Yeah, but it's true though. They do the same thing, but then now they're making every single male character look like a pussy because they're over
an idiot too. A fucking idiot.
That's even the worst part.
And evil. Don't forget evil.
The only likable male characters are all evil. And one thing that's kind of funny about that is when the prequels were coming out, a lot of people, if you remember, were trashing how George Lucas was portraying Anakin, especially.
I'm old enough to remember the hate for the prequel.
Yeah, but let me tell you something interesting about Anakin that a lot of people didn't at the time were not paying attention to, because George Lucas, believe it or not, the man cares about his universe and was being very intricate in how he formulated all his characters and what they were going to say and how it's going to all turn out super tragic. You see, Anakin
was written by Joseph Campbell. The problem was that the moment Joseph also died, we also have to take that into account when we're debating about the downfall of the quality of Star Wars. The moment Joseph died, there was a big, piece of the mythology, of the inner workings, of the very core of Star Wars, missing all of a sudden. And Joseph wasn't somebody who wrote everything down perfectly. He was a bit of a messy genius, and so a lot of stuff was stored in his head and it's gone with him. And he had greater plans on how to expand the universe as well. And so without him, it was also more difficult for Lucas to kind of navigate this.
No, but with Anakin specifically, I'm mostly focusing on Anakin, okay? But with Anakin, what's fascinated me about that character, now that I think about it as I'm older, is number one, unlike other Jedi, he starts out being just the classical chosen one. And people at the time made fun of that because oh, you're going with the chosen one trope.
The Jesus trope.
Yeah, the Jesus trope. But then people didn't realize it. This is how smart George was back then. And the people that even his fans couldn't pick up on this crap. He was doing a reverse Jesus. Okay? This guy did not want to be Jesus. He didn't want the job. These random old men come in and they tell his mother, and him, you're special, and we're going to take you away from the only person that you've ever cared about, and you got no say in it, because if you don't, she is going to die. She's going to be in trouble. And this child, that is when the fear sets in. People don't seem to understand. Each episode explores a concept of what turns someone to the dark side. Episode 1 for Anakin was his feet, you could say his, Lord, I guess it would be the emotion of fear. Yeah. And then episode 2 was just pure anger. And then episode 3, now we just get to exactly. That is what makes a Sith one, because those
each villain.
Yoda literally says that to Anakin.
Yeah, he's full of fear. And then on top of that, the reason for his fear was because he was terrified of what would happen to him and Padme should the Order ever discover that they were in love, because he's also trying to portray the fact that the Jedi Order has become this over bloated monster of its former self, where all they care about is honoring traditions, and they did not focus on the core concept, which is trying to find peace and harmony within the Force.
And each villain was
not everyone knew at the time.
Each villain was also a representation of what Darth Vader would become, of course. Maul with the savage, Dooku with the sophistication, and Grievous with the cyborg
with the fury, basically. And what's crazy is that in the scene, the infamous scene where he says, "I don't like sand, it's coarse and gets everywhere." That scene, maybe Hayden didn't, verbally portray it as well as he could have done back then. He was a pretty young actor at the time.
I don't know how actors the writing in it.
But the writing, at least if it had been performed by somebody else, along with Natalie Portman, would have been perfectly executed, because the writing is basically showing you a young man who is trying to wrestle with his emotions and the Jedi code that he has been
He's
told
an incel virgin.
I think the choice was
also
clever. I think just the execution was, of course, not the best, and Jar Jar Binks kind of killed the mood.
Yeah, I know.
He was the key to all of this code. He was the dark.
Jar Jar
dark
was a forced comedy relief that I think George felt like he needed to do. But as far as drawing comparisons, and speaking with Anakin, Dragonslayer kind of touched up on it. If you look back, given what we have now with the current climate of Star Wars, you go back and you watch the romance between Anakin and Padme, it's actually quite good.
It's quite good.
It's the real romance.
It is quite good.
That's
it
the
is a real
crazy
romance.
thing.
Yes, some of the lines are corny, some stuff, but like, especially when they're on I don't know the name of the planet, but when Anakin is riding that thing, no, it's not on Naboo. It's maybe it is Naboo, when they're in the flower field and they're wrestling with each other and everything. Like that is beautiful. Like you can actually feel the chemistry between them, and that is something that George necessarily maybe didn't touch on quite a little bit in the original trilogy. Yeah, there was some sexual tension between Han Solo and Leia, especially in 5 and 6. But in the prequels, you really felt, and I think he did it obviously specifically with Anakin, because just for the overall arc of what turning into Darth Vader and that loss is going to do to him.
Speak louder than words. That's why that flower scene, that meadow scene did so well. Whereas when they were, say, by the fireplace, it was kind of cringy a bit.
But that's the point, though, because supposedly Anakin is at this time, like, he's 18, just recently became an adult or something.
Well, and then
so he has all this tension that he's had like this. He's been imagining how this whole interaction is going to occur, and on top of that, he's loved Padme. They make this clear that throughout his training as a Jedi, he has always loved Padme. He's been attracted to her,
but has never had.
He's just since he was a little kid, and has never had the courage to speak to her and profess his love to her.
And then
on top of
in Attack of the Clones, when he's having that romance with her and having that connection, he knows that she likes him. And then when they're having that dinner scene, and then eventually it leads into the fireplace scene, and let's face it, she's wearing a "fuck me right now" outfit.
Yes, she is,
and she's wearing that outfit
too.
Of course,
in the writing as well.
And then when he's having these feelings and these emotions, not only he knows how he feels about her, but he knows how she feels about him. And then she's sitting there saying, "No, this isn't going to happen." And a young man who's been in love with this girl for over a decade. And then she's saying no, but he really knows. But he's also fighting the fact that he is a Padawan. He's supposed to be a Jedi. They cannot have attachment to love or to emotion with a female.
Which is a flaw in the Jedi code, by the way. He's also showing that as a flaw in the Jedi code, because if you are completely unattached from if you're completely unattached from everything,
from reality.
From reality. Yeah, you can harness the Force in a more pure state, but then you look at characters like Revan, who have found a balance between the chaos and the order. Even Luke. Like, you find a balance between both forces. Turns out that those individuals that find the balance in the Force on both sides tend to be the most powerful, because in a way, you could say they're embracing the dualistic aspects of creation itself, which is what the Force is, according to the.
If you don't embrace reality, folks, how can you be based to?
So here's a subjective thought in the Clone Wars. Does Obi-Wan fuck that chick on Mandalore?
No, he does not. But then again,
does he though?
Does he? Who knows? Maybe Disney Star Wars will just.
Maybe they did before. Maybe they did before.
They are not Augustinians. They are not Augustinian monks. They are not Buddhist monks. There is no,
they're like Buddhist monks.
Like, even in the source material, there is no hint to the fact that they should be in some sort, like, completely against the lust of the flesh, anything like that. I mean, quite the opposite, actually. If you love for them is like the highest feelings of them all. It just reinforces your power to manipulate the Force and do things also. So it makes you also more powerful. It's just that they choose not to, because it would endanger the partner. It's like in Highlander, right? The problem is that when you fall in love with somebody, but you're going to outlive that person. You're going to outlive your partner, and you endanger your partner with the very activity that, your religion or your belief system kind of automatically brings into the life. That's why the Jedis, they choose to live more this solitary life, because they don't want to give this burden also to the other person.
But ironically, Coach, they choose to live this lifestyle because deep down, at least the order itself is basically at its core, it's following these ideals because it fears what the potential of what could happen if one individual becomes unstable, when the potential for balanced, powerful individuals that can protect the galaxy is being diminished. And the same thing goes with the Sith. The Sith embrace way too much of the very strong, dark emotions, and they don't realize that by doing so, they are destroying themselves. And
power.
They're just way too like both sides represent. Both sides basically represent extremes. When in reality, at least as we've seen with a few Force users like Luke and Revan, as I use all the time, usually the ones that find the balance between the two or understand, like Yoda did. Like, for example, I'll use Yoda because a lot of people don't know this, but in the Clone Wars, I believe it was, or Rebels, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's Clone Wars, there is an episode where he goes to the Sith homeworld because Qui-Gon, because I believe the midichlorians told him to go there in order so that he could see the manifestation of the darkness that resides in all beings and basically conquer it. And the way Yoda conquers it is something that not even the traditionalist Jedi would do. It's radical according to the ideology of the Jedi, which is why Qui-Gon kept it a secret for so long until he died, because he knew one day it would be useful to preserving the order. And the idea is that you have to embrace your shadow. If you do not embrace your shadow, you will become an empty vessel of nothingness.
In the role-playing game, that was explained perfectly. So when you were playing a Jedi character, you had light force points and dark side points. And as a Jedi, you can actually accumulate a portion of dark side points without losing your soul or your spirit to the dark side. You stay a Jedi, but sometimes, like in the role-playing game, when you were using your telekinesis to kind of move an object in order to attack an opponent, that would actually grant you a dark side point. That is regarded as something evil, inherently evil, if a Jedi uses his power to kind of move an object to hurt someone else. But of course, you can decide whether or not, like the fact that he has to defend himself sometimes, and use a bit more drastic measures in order to escape the situation. Otherwise, in the role-playing game, it is actually said that the Jedi then should look out for the dead, like Obi-Wan said, right? Like, and he also did. Like in this case, when you can overcome the opponent at no cost, then you have to choose whether to sacrifice the purity of your soul or to die in this moment materialistically, but to live on as the ethereal, astral type of projections that we see in the movie.
A ghost.
Like very ancient concept, by the way.
Right. I would just like to say that we were supposed to be talking about Ahsoka, and the fact that we're talking about all of this.
That's how bad it is.
This is more interesting.
Pretty telling just how bad.
Like Ahsoka sucked anyway.
Yeah, we were just like, you know what, Ahsoka was pretty bad. Which, by the way, let's go into this whole deep dive about Star Wars.
Well, I was actually gonna loop back to Ahsoka and say that's what I liked about her character from Clone Wars, is that she did stay away from the Jedi after a point and kind of made her own path while still keeping what I guess that parts of it made sense to her. So it was really surprising to me how bad Disney dropped the ball here, because they had Ahsoka, a quote unquote strong female character, but one that fans actually like and have a connection to. And then they got Rosario Dawson, who is a generally well-liked actress and people think is pretty good. So on paper, they had pretty much everything lined up for what they've been saying they want that fans might actually enjoy that would work. And again, they just dropped the fucking ball.
Costume design of a Steven Seagal film, ladies and gentlemen.
They're always going to take what the fans like and manipulate it to whatever they need. That's basically what it is. They saw they saw a female character that people actually genuinely liked, and they're like, "Oh, this is gonna be easy. This is an easy win for us. Let's just take this and girl boss this shit."
Yep, let's make her Rey. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah. They see a cash cow.
We're gonna make her Rey.
Take all the emotion out of her.
And that drives me crazy because Raid, all these other characters, they were hugely unsuccessful. Their campaigns were not funded. Their merchandise was not bought.
Reva, the lightsaber.
Yeah,
Reva's lightsaber. That
I still
they
can't
tried
believe
to
we live in a
crowdfund
world.
and they couldn't fucking get enough money.
I can't believe we live in a world that a project for Star Wars couldn't get funded. Like that's how crazy that is.
Yeah,
you know,
think of like the
Star
late
Wars
90s,
printed
early
money for
2000s. Fucking any Star Wars like lightsaber, especially, would have been flying off.
And they still insist on making stories around characters that nobody seems to like.
Well, that's the thing. It's
they're incapable of making people like them.
Yeah.
They don't have the same level of success that we do.
Characters, they're not any. They don't make sense. Like when I always say this on the panel, but to me, it's like it's mind-boggling, right? As an actor and as an acting coach, when somebody comes along and you come over with an audition, right? There is a casting. You can pretty much say that on this sheet of paper for your audition, there is more context, right, than in these Hollywood movies in terms of character development, narrative, story, and everything, because an audition needs to make sense. Otherwise, as an actor, you don't know what to play. If there is no conflict, if there is no catharsis, if there is no hero's quest, if there's nothing you fight for, if everything is granted and just superior, and you don't have a scene. But all of a sudden, when they're shooting these $300 million movies, all of a sudden, this goes all to ashes.
There is only the casting couch, Coach. That's how you get recruited onto
I mean,
the film.
look, man.
I don't know what that is.
It boils down to, they just keep ignoring the reality. That, you know, like when you have all these female characters, you don't want to make them attractive. You don't want to make them like what traditionally women tend to have been in Hollywood. So, like Look, I'm not somebody that flaunts my assets. Okay, I'm not that type of chick. I've never been that type of chick. I've grown up a tomboy. So, like, how do I manage to make people like me or find interest in me? Well, I seem to be more comedic than 99% of women. That is a positive. Like, you have to
crazy.
Like, you have to actually find ways to make women interesting on their own. And they don't do that. They just make male characters as these female characters. And that's why nobody gives a fuck. Like, if you want to go about, like, making all these characters and making them look like, you know, not sexy. I mean, if you want to do that, fine. But you have to actually subsidize and make them interesting in some other characteristically important and alluring way. And they have no fucking idea how to write that at all. And they don't care to. They feel as though, oh, well, she's a woman and she has a vagina. You're never going to see it. You're never going to see her butt or her titties. So guess what? You're just going to respect them because we say you're supposed to. And if you don't, you're a fucking bigot. And to that, we say, go fuck yourselves. It's really that simple.
And
assuming it's a real woman.
To piggyback off of exactly what Cassie just said, you can take a note from the Mission Impossible movies, especially just because I've seen it most recently, the Mission Impossible, what's it called, Dead Reckoning, with Haley Atwell. Okay, so you take Haley Atwell, who is a very attractive woman. She doesn't show any cleavage in that movie. She is very modestly dressed, but she is still attractive and entertaining. And as well as she isn't some chick girl boss. Does she kind of fuck over Tom Cruise a lot in that movie? Of course she does. She turns her back on him like nearly the entire, like for the first 2 acts of that movie. But are there times where she can't do certain shit? Like the whole car chase scene. She didn't want to drive the fucking car. She goes, the man's gonna drive. I want the man to drive. Get us the fuck out of here. And Tom Cruise took the wheel and fucking saved her ass. And how about in the 3rd act, on that whole train sequence, Tom Cruise saved her ass. It's not like the movie went woke and like she went full girl boss and had to save Tom Cruise, the main character. No, Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt, is the main character in this movie, in this franchise, and there is a hot, attractive woman who was casted to play a hot, attractive woman character, and she's not this girl boss. Like, so many people can learn from these Mission Impossible movies, like how to properly write characters, as far as a strong male character with a sidekick hot female character. Like, let's just say that. And even
then Barbie made nearly 3 times the money.
That's a whole nother conversation.
No, but I mean, you know, it's kind of interesting. But you know what? And I don't know if any Hollywood.
We're at 2 hours, Dragon. We should get to the super chats.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Do the
Oh,
super chats
shit.
real quick. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, go ahead, man.
You want me to get those, Hypno?
Yeah, bro. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah. What did we leave
Do it.
off? Hold on. We did
Do it.
I think
Right
the last
here.
one we left off was
favorite X
20?
video. I think was the last one. Yeah. So we're up to the 20. Oh, Bruce Banner.
Oh yeah. Bruce Banner for 20 says supporting the army. Let's go.
Thank you, Bruce Banner. I appreciate you, brother.
Bruce
Always
Banner.
dropping the big bombs.
RC for a 10 says love the program.
Thank you, RC. Appreciate that.
We try our
Oh, yeah.
hardest.
David Nelson for another 5 says those spaceship lasers are as weak as the training saber that plunged into Sabine in the last episode. Well, we will all have big gulps soon.
You know what I noticed? Because just rewatched it working on my video. And that exact same episode where Sabine gets stabbed, in the beginning of the episode, a male character gets stabbed almost in the exact same place, and he instantly dies. In the
I
same
didn't
episode.
even realize that.
She's special, boy. She ain't
Is
getting
anybody
injured,
shocked
she
by
ain't
that, though?
dying.
Like,
There's no
Fanny power.
consistency. There is
Yeah.
no consistency with lightsaber stabs or lightsaber wounds. Like it's just in the writing. It if they get stabbed by a lightsaber and the character is supposed to die, they die. If they're supposed to live and they get stabbed, they're just gonna live.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like
no
a
consistency
Bethesda
in
game.
explanation.
Yep.
If you're vital to the story in a Bethesda game, you can't die. It's like that.
It's like OG Star Trek when someone that's supposed to die, they're obviously a new character that's just tossed in there so they can get killed off instead of the main crew.
I know, and it's kind of funny that you say that, but I'll mention something later on. But let's just go with this.
Coach Dragon for a 4-month member message says, as a casual normie fan, I myself say Ahsoka isn't as the best as many say. I even watch Rebels, which I say it's better than this live-action Rebels season 5.
I wish
First
they just
thing
made
Disney
season 5
made.
of Rebels.
It was really odd to me that they don't even have like a recap from Rebels or anything. They just kick straight off into it. So if you're like a normie, you have no
You don't
fucking
know.
idea what's going on.
Hey, you scrub!
Do you-
Go
do
watch
you-
They
Rebels.
really don't want you to know. Like they kind of just want you to be like, hey, female character.
Do
They
you
don't
think
want
that
to.
That's
that
it.
is purposely done so that when people watch
Yes.
Ahsoka and they're a little confused, they go back and they are forced to rewatch
maybe.
Rebels?
I know why though. The
That's a
reason
good
why is
thought.
because if you notice the tone in Ahsoka, like with Mandalorian, I'm assuming Ahsoka's trying to do this even more. The tone to me by the art, by the visuals and the art style choices and CGI, they want this to be like a serious, dark brooding, like adult
Not doing it
story.
well.
It's not doing well. That's the point. But they want
Yeah.
to get that theme. But with Rebels, originally the first few
It's a
seasons
kid
of Rebels.
show.
Yeah, it was a kids show, but then it matured along with its audience to be more of the like teenagers and young adults. But the first few seasons, like with
Clone
Clone
Wars
Wars,
definitely
they were
did.
for kids, okay, that would eventually grow up to be adults.
But
And
there's
the
still
show
a lot of
matured.
adult, mature messaging in Clone Wars.
Exactly, but that's how you make a good kids show. You
Yep.
put in stuff that the adults can at least enjoy if they're watching it with their
Exactly.
kids, but
Look-
something that the kids can be
Like
entertained
war
by.
crimes.
Well, a lot of
And-
the
take Toy Story, for example. Toy
Yeah.
Story
Yeah.
1, you go back as an adult and rewatch Toy Story 1.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many adult innuendos in that movie,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
what Disney used to be so good at, is like doing the sly little subtle adult innuendos that the kids, it's going to go right over their head. They're just looking at an animated movie about toys where the parents, they're forced to take their kids to this movie, and then they watch and they're like, oh, I got that joke.
Yeah,
right, exactly. It's true.
Yeah. Double brewski for $2. Feminism made women less feminine. Go figure.
Yeah, amazing how that
Feminism-
works, right?
Yep.
Well, they did
Feminism
good
made
changes
men
originally.
women.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Feminism
like, they
made
did-
men more feminine. It made
Yeah.
women less feminine. It's like, okay.
it's kind of funny that you say that because in the beginning, they, at least from a legal standpoint, they achieved something. But then afterwards, like with with Star Wars, the second some other people came in, everything went off the damn rails, and it turned into like something that was not even the original
Dragon
purpose.
knows all about that.
Oh, God,
Fucking
nice.
asshole. You fucking Klansman.
King
Oh.
Derailer.
Ah, Lord.
FVA for $5 says, what is your guys' favorite female character in movies? Mine is all the Salma Hayek roles.
My
Not
man.
surprised.
My
Excellent
man.
choice.
Oh,
Not
goodness.
surprised.
I'm gonna have to think about this one.
I was always a big Michelle
Yeah.
Rodriguez fan.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's
I was a
I
big
like
fan of her
Princess.
too.
I
and
like
I- and I
Princess
became-
Fiona.
I became more of a fan with her when she had that based fucking like drunk recording of her.
Yeah.
Remember? And then she tried to
Yeah.
like
That was recent.
back down from it. And then that's when I was like, oh fuck it. You know?
I might go Nev Campbell in Scream.
You know what?
that's
Yeah.
actually not bad. Yeah,
You actually
that's
might have
good.
something there.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, one of my all-time favorite female characters is Eowyn from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Or
Facts.
with a disgusting soup. Yeah.
That is the most well. That is the most well done boss bitch that isn't a boss bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I absolutely connect with her and like what she's going through and everything. and
I
it's
am no
absolutely
man.
tender
I am
and-
trans.
This is why. This is why when they
We
actually
need that.
tried to they tried to co-opt that though. They tried to co-opt
Yeah.
it and say, oh well, look, no, Eowyn, she killed the Witch King. Like that's a girl boss moment. And I'm like, no, it was something that was heavily leaned into over the
Ordained.
last
She
3
was gonna get
books.
fucking killed without
She
Mary.
wasn't even like trying. And the thing is, people are like, oh no, she exclusively killed him. No, you dumbass. If you read the books or just looked at the scene itself, he gets weak. He was about to kill her, but then Mary pops in with a knife that he didn't even know. This is a funny thing. If you read the books, he picks up that knife in the Barrow Downs, which is like an ancient graveyard where basically the ancestors of Aragorn, when they still had a kingdom, the Witch King defiled their bodies and turned it into a very dark place of undeath and terrible things. But that knife that he uses was specifically designed by this group of surviving men, his ancestors, to kill the Witch King because with ancient spells and the intention, right? They just leave it vague. And then this random ass hobbit just casually as he's running away sees a nice
Fake.
shiny knife and grabs it, right? This ancient knife. And then when he stabs the Witch King, guess what? All of a sudden his dark power is disabled and he's vulnerable to getting killed by even a weak woman. Because
that follows the overarching story too, Slayer. Like the overarching story is little people do great things. Like that. That's like the people you would least expect do the greatest of things.
Like
And that's why
Neville and
Frodo
Harry
was
Potter.
the one.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
that's why Frodo was the one that had to bear the ring, and this is why when she killed the Witch King, she even got fucked up from doing so, mind you.
Yeah,
Like it's not like she just fucking did a
He literally
Galadriel one shot
exploded.
troll. Like she didn't one shot the fucking troll. Like she actually stabbed him, and she heavily damaged herself by doing so. Meaning she couldn't. She couldn't do a second strike on him. That's how powerful he was, even with her being a woman. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, that's besides.
And he sort of blew up.
No,
from the
and
face.
also, that the death of the Witch King was fulfilling a prophecy made by
Correct.
Glorfindel, who basically told like an ancestor of Aragorn, who was the king at the time, no, none of you men are going to slay this man, this creature. Like the Witch King will not fall by the hands of men.
Yeah,
and
you
at the
should
time,
be
people were
trans
thinking,
instead.
yeah, basically he was saying that everything has its time, and when it will, all dark things will fall. He was basically fulfilling a
Atreus
prophecy
isn't
that was
here,
going to be
dragon.
fulfilled.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, for me, I can't choose between these two, so I'd have to go with either Pam Grier because of Jackie Brown. It's one of my all-time favorite flicks, and Foxy Brown, her 70s black exploitation flicks. She's a fucking beast. She was doing action in back when women didn't really do action like that. So shout out to her. And Famke Janssen because Zunya on the top in GoldenEye and Jean Grey. She made me actually like Jean Grey to go.
Yes.
Like actually be. I used to be a Storm and Rogue fan. When she played Jean Grey, I'm like, there's something to this character. I'm gonna go really.
That's
do my research.
that's a sneaky take right there. I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, and mine, by the way, is Galadriel. I forgot to mention that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously.
Male one.
Shocker.
Hey, look, it's not really a shocker.
Galadriel.
If you know her back, no, not that bitch, the real one.
That's what I meant,
No,
Dragon.
quiet. Don't you bring those bad memories back? Okay, I already found a damn article. We were trying to excuse that bullshit scene.
Speaking of which, according to Dragon Slayer, today is the 1-year anniversary of Rings of Power. In case anybody cares.
Well, it's also I think the 50th anniversary of when Tolkien passed away.
Yeah, hold on. When
I care more about that than anything. All right, Beardo, take over. Go ahead.
All right, Kyoko for $2. And before we actually get to Kyoko, I see we still have almost 190,000 people here watching over on Hypnotic's live stream. We're at 226 likes. If you guys haven't liked the stream yet, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's see if we can get up to 250 right now. Kyoko for $2. AI is replacing women is because of feminism.
Put them straight in the kitchen. One of those.
I don't think you want me to cook for you, Ryan. Your life expectancy will severely decline.
Do you make poisons, Kate? What the hell?
No. I don't want Spanish people cooking for me.
Really?
I know you might actually know what
Mexican food is my
is.
favorite.
Yeah, dude.
Mexican food.
I told you he lives in a shack on an island by himself.
Imagine
with a lot of
mayo in his rice.
Imagine
we have a thing in
up.
America called pepper.
Imagine waking up and knowing you're Mexican.
Have you ever had Mexican food, Ryan?
No.
Never had Mexican food?
He lives in a town with a population of like 50.
I can assure you, Mexican food
gives you diarrhea. Okay,
S tier. No. It's not Indian food. It's not
really
Indian
food. We know Ryan doesn't really actually want women cooking for him because he loves to eat faggots.
There you go. That's true. And he has come out and said that. She's not lying. She's not lying. He has come out and said that. That's why he's not saying anything. Yeah. Look.
At least I don't eat beavers, Cassie.
Oh yeah, that is
I've never eaten beaver before.
Not the derogatory word. There's an actual dish. A British dish.
Welcome to the bigotry, Beardo.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. But Mexican food is S tier. Love Mexican food. Iron Oxide for $10. Hail Hypnotic, panel, and the chat.
What is up, Iron Oxide?
All right.
What is up? Instant Defense for a $5 says Wumpscut.
Yeah.
Wumpscut. Loyal to my hate. Thermonuclear version Darth Vader.
Are you saying Wumpscut is a version of Darth Vader?
Is that a recall?
Yes. Wumpscut is a loyal to my hate thermonuclear version of Darth Vader.
Huh.
I just see. I just looked up a band name, so I didn't know. Well, guess. All right.
That sounds like a synth recall code from like Fallout 4. Just put together, and then the synths just shut down.
Kyoko
bro, with the article and this shit now you're trying to get this discussion rolling. Oh no. Let's go back to this.
Yes, Kyoko.
Kyoko for a 4-month member message says, "Did y'all hear what happened in Colorado with the kid wearing his 'Don't Tread on Me' flag?
Yeah,
he got kicked out, fought back, and now is a celebrity. Yeah, I know all about that.
He's definitely got like a contract from Daily Wire.
Without a doubt.
He's been on Daily Wire. He was on with Benny Johnson and a few other political people.
They're gonna use up his spotlight as much as possible.
Yeah.
Welcome in Hypno.
Shout out to that kid. I forget what his name is right now.
Oh yeah,
shout out
that
to
was
him.
ballsy.
Valley Law for $2 says, "Hell yeah, Beardo."
There you go. I think that is all the super chats. I think we're fully caught up.
Nice.
Right.
So
Hypno shared.
Look at that.
Stick.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
Oh man. Yeah, Coach just kind of whips these drawings out like it's nothing.
Let me whip the sap, dragon.
And then he does it live too, which makes it even crazier.
Yeah. Like, do you still have that art drawing you did of like that character from Lord of the Rings online that I gave you the pictures of?
Sure.
Like that design with that armor? Do you have it?
Yeah.
Dude, show it real quick.
Wyatt, what did you send me? What is this?
It's heresy. It's heresy. It's what it is.
Saw a tweet about hobbits being anarchists because they have no king. Here's the thing. Gondor had no king until a bunch of hobbits went through a heck of a lot of trouble putting one loyal to them on that throne. They're not anarchists. They're the CIA. Nice. That's awesome.
The country bumpkin version of the CIA. Sure. The FIA. Why not?
That's so fucking true. It hurts.
You're right. At least they're not the fucking Harfoot animals.
I know.
No,
Harfoot is woke, as we were
did you see the
saying.
article though, dude? That article from Screen Rant is so stupid. It's,
I didn't look at the article. I just
no,
got the
it's on.
picture.
I put it on the chat. I put it on the chat.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Look at the damn article.
From Screen
I'm
Rant,
amazed
too.
you Americans can read. So.
Oh, shut up, you cunt! Oh God.
Even if we couldn't, we can at least afford to learn.
We can
Right.
look at pretty pictures at
Damn.
least and tell whether it's going to be bad or good, Ryan. Give us
The
some
Rings
credit.
of Power's new Mordor origin story actually fits with Tolkien's Lord of the Rings mythology.
Oh,
Who
fuck
wants to
you.
start?
Fuck
Who
off
wants to
with that.
start this
really
this,
outrageous.
This is just them saying, "Hey, we're gonna fucking change everything."
Because I
But
remember
we
in
totally
the-
convinced ourselves it fits.
I read
Cheeto
in,
Mountain.
in the
Cheeto.
appendices, my favorite part was where Tolkien said, "Wouldn't it be cool if we poured water in a volcano?"
Yeah, man, like a ton of water, and we
Like,
don't know where
he
the
started
fuck
off
it came from.
the book saying like Galadriel could totally tank a volcano. Totally, like just so you know, with this character's backstory,
cover of
she
the book is
tanks
her-
volcanoes. Just
You know
so
how
you know.
fake they are that they are using the Sauron design from Shadow of War, a more superior, respectful product on their freaking
Than their own.
on their freaking thumbnail, and it's
Kind
in
of looks
front.
like Morgoth to me.
But that's the point, though, dude. They actually gave a shit. They try to make him like a mirror, an inferior mirror, if you will, of Morgoth, which is amazing
But
because
Screen
that
Rant
means they
didn't know
cared
that.
about the detail. Yeah, because like in the books, he's kind of portrayed like a minor Satan, if you will.
This guy got
Cheeto
replaced, right? He's gone. He
He got
left.
Yeah, he
replaced.
did.
Yeah, he got replaced. One of the few only good actors in that show. And of
And
course,
I loved,
he was.
I read it's that he went to a different show that's actually like, I think.
Why do they always
Oh,
fucking look like this?
Why did she look
why
like-
are
Oh my
her
God,
eyes
what
so
the
far
fuck
apart?
is that?
Yep.
That's
He
a
looks-
sex doll. Atreus.
Oh yeah, that's got to be fake. That's
No.
fake.
Wow.
This is
no
AI,
fucking
bro.
way, bro.
That's not a real person.
That's
No.
a lot of lip filler, man.
Look
Wow.
at
What the
that
hell?
name.
I would
That's not
100%
real.
I would totally believe that Screen Rant and websites like that are mostly AI at this point.
Oh, I would too.
Fucking sex doll AI.
Bro.
Yo, not for nothing. Like, how inbred are you to have your eyes that wide and also have a dead eye on top of it?
An American Cassie.
Is that two different
Oh.
eye colors too?
No, it's the same eye color. It's just that the left
Because this
eye
is
having-
darker. Yeah.
No, it's the left eye is
It's the
getting
flash.
more light.
Are they
the
on
camera.
different levels? This is higher than this one.
It's like
Yes,
it's the
she's a
lighting
dead
because
eye. It has
Yeah,
a dead eye.
It's a lazy eye, right?
How much-
it's a guys. It's just
No, it's
lighting.
the AI
for
was
Christ's sake.
off.
Got that Ryan hairline going.
How much makeup does this tranny demon have?
I don't
How
think
much?
this is a
Quite a
tranny
lot.
demon. This is just a very what's it
Sex
called?
doll.
Yeah, unfortunately, bro. This I'm not even gonna get into a rant about that. Let's
California-
first do the article and then.
Aileen is not a
Of
real
course, a
person.
fitness enthusiast from Northern California.
It has
Why
AIDS.
am I
I
like
saw
Phil
the hair and
Rebel
I
does.
immediately thought California. I didn't want to say anything, but it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's fucking
No, or
multicolored hair, white woman. Like, this is California, bro.
Or like those
Oh,
gym
damn.
bimbos that all they give a fuck about is how big they can make their ass look by doing 200,000 different variations. Of squats.
I will say for Kalina's, it's Kalina, right? That's
Kaylina, I guess.
Kaylina, yeah.
Kaylina. I will say for her benefit of the doubt, California is a very large state. Southern California is where a lot of the stereotypes come from. Northern California is almost like a completely different state. Completely different. But
Well, that's like New York.
You mean like country
Right.
hicks?
Right.
You go to upstate New York and it's like fucking
Yes.
light years
Yep.
different from
Yeah.
the five boroughs.
Country.
Yep,
See
yep.
this right though? Atreus would simp for her immediately. I
Oh,
don't
for sure.
blame him.
Oh
mean
my
boy.
god.
He's
dude.
gonna take up
depends
all
on-
the
it
space in
depends
that
on the-
forehead. He's gonna go, I'm gonna use that space.
I mean,
It depends on
she's
the
written
cake.
for all the woke fucking shit. Like the gamers so fucking retarded with their
And
takes.
CBR.
Yeah, CBR as well, obviously. Freaking
That's
joke.
why I highlighted it, because of course she writes for fucking Screen Rant if
A
she
sex doll.
worked
right
for
for
CBR and the gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when the gamer does straight laced news, it's good for what it is. But once they take an opinion, they go so fully fucking retarded that it's irredeemable.
It really is. And the people like this usually write these pieces that they're like trying to find little ties between movies that don't exist. You know what I mean? This is why Link was gay apparently to these people.
And trans.
They're like, well, oh yeah, and trans.
He is. You know, he might be trans.
Don't you get gay started on it? He had a controversy.
I mean,
for one video.
Tears of the Kingdom fell off a fucking cliff.
Cassie
went viral for attacking all Link is trans people.
Really? Oh, my apologies. He might be trans.
Those were the
like
days.
her tweet literally got like 1 million views overnight.
like over 2 million views.
No, you're right,
all
over
together.
2.
It's insane, bro.
It's
I actually
so
left Twitter for like 3 days to let them fight in my mentions. I'm like, fuck you guys. This shit ain't worth my time.
And then they thought she was trans because she was a tomboy. That was the funniest thing.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
Sylvester Stallone.
So many people were saying that Cassie's an incel.
Yeah, it was pretty damn great.
I get that a lot. Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Amazing how it works, huh?
No, it's kind of wonderful. Like you get all that attention and you don't give a fuck, and then they start fighting because they notice the original poster does not give a shit about them, so they just start fighting. They're just like they're just like wildfires. You know, these people. They need to fight.
Angry now. Because he said Link is trans.
Well, it's because I have this take. I have this take that Tears of the Kingdom fell off. That the entire fan base just completely abandoned the fucking game.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
But you could make a mech unit, Beardo.
I know. You can make a lot of shit in there. You can make a lot of shit in the game. It's like Minecraft, but make it Legend of Zelda.
But by the way, this is how dumb this article is, like the one I showed you. If the second half,
sex doll.
Yeah, from the sex doll. Yes, you're right. She literally says, and I quote, let's see. Okay. There are plenty of. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's stupid. I'm trying to filter through the stupidity on the spot.
That's not a human being, folks.
Yeah. What do you mean?
His lips get swollen.
That creature. That creature voted for Joe Biden.
Without a doubt.
How many of them are
this cannot be a real person.
Look, if a it's a real person. You can look her up on
Neither are
Google.
Joe Biden's voters, Beardo.
If it is, I'm sorry.
You can look up her on Google. And it's a real person. But
why the long face?
I love it. Get this demon off the screen.
Get the demon off the screen.
Somebody said fear porn.
It's a sex doll tranny demon.
It really is amazing how they all look the same, though. We used to say that when we were talking about Rings of Power a lot in its prime and Vama especially. Every writer was a white woman that looked the same. Like 99% of them.
Of course, they're the same.
What annoys me is that due to the whole. Well, I'll get into that in a moment, but let me first focus on the article real quick. This paragraph right here is what tells me they don't know jack squat about the lore, or I don't know who the hell told her to write this.
Every time, man.
But I'm quoting this, by the way. There are still plenty of pieces of the puzzle to add, including the iconic gate that features so prominently in the War of the Ring, Barad-dûr, and the series might even choose to go into detail about who actually chose Mordor as a target in the first place between Morgoth, Sauron, and Adar. If Adar can change form, and she underlined this shit, okay, and has the ability to shapeshift like Sauron, it's possible fans have only seen a taste of his power going into the second season. Now, here's my little thing. You dumb idiot. Adar is not a fucking spirit like Sauron or Morgoth. He is just a corrupted elf. Henceforth, he cannot change his damn form.
Make him change his form.
They don't know that. They've never read Tolkien before.
They never read Tolkien.
I guarantee you the writers make him change form.
No.
Adar will transition.
I was just gonna fucking say that. God damn it.
No, and I'm gonna make it even crazier, right? She mentions about the building of the gate and everything. Well, guess what? They already fucked that up. Because here's the thing: according to the show's logic, okay,
gotta build the wall.
The Sauron basically did not do jack squat to make Mordor. He kind of just saw it and was like, "Hey, bro, it's my crib now." Kills Adar, steals all his shit. And then somehow, within the span of, according to the show, a few years, he is going to build this massive tower that, by the way, is made of steel. That not even
Sauron is Atreus.
Yeah,
he just goes into a person's
He's gonna steal other people's
and makes it his own.
Bro,
recliner chair. Probably stole it from an old white man.
Beardo. I don't know how well you know the Tolkien lore, but
not much. I mean, I watched all the Hobbit movies and Lord of the Rings, but I haven't read any of the books.
Let me break it down in these terms then. Okay, just simple terms. The giant gate that Frodo and Sam see that Gollum prevents them from going into Mordor that way to take the other route. That gate and the tower that explodes when Sauron is finally destroyed took in the lore for Sauron 500 years to build all of that, and he did everything in secret for 5 centuries. And during that time period, no one, and I mean absolutely no one of the good guy characters at least, knew that Sauron, was even alive. Everyone thought he had been chained up and taken away to the bad boy prison of the gods. Okay,
was everyone asleep, Dragon Slayer? That sounds a bit hard to believe.
No, bro, like Sauron just
500 years.
Bro, no. The problem is Sauron, because here's the thing. Tolkien was very good at geography, and he knew how to use location for plot explanations for those kinds of questions. At the time period, the Numenorians, or I guess their ancestors before they became Numenorians, they were stuck in this island, that was specially made for them. And the elves and dwarves were only basically had settlements or starting to create settlements in the west of Middle-earth, which is called Eriador. So basically from Moria in the Misty Mountains all the way to the west. So at the time, the only people that even knew about Sauron probably had no idea who he truly was, because they were just petty human tribes or kingdoms.
A lot of space.
Yeah, exactly. And also these tribes of men worshipped Morgoth, because before that, Morgoth was able to convince them that he was a god, the only god that they needed. And when Sauron showed up, he just basically said, you know that guy that told your ancestors a long time ago that he was your god? Well, that's me. Serve me. And then he also in secret gathered all the orcs that had survived the destruction and secretly was able to sneak them in.
They must have had pretty low IQs to believe that, Dragon.
But the thing, bro, but that's the point, though. He makes it kind of clear that he mostly convinced all these people to side with him, either because he brought the fear of God into them, and I don't give a fuck, Hypno. Screw you. And on top of that,
get him out of here, Hypno. I've got a few suggestions for you. The Golden Age Geek, the author Steve Walton Pops.
Hey,
any of them could replace
Ryan, you fucking bastard. Shut up now. No, but seriously, like, this just tells you how much they don't know about the story. And no, I am derailing now because we talked about all the important topics. The derail is on purpose.
Clearly.
It was just 15 minutes. It's okay.
It's okay. Exactly. It's not a problem. All right, let's finish up with this, because I wanna go over another Get Will Go Bro, because it's a lot of fun to do those. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the fact that Marvel has just reshuffled their entire Disney Plus schedule, and all the woke TV shows have very clearly been delayed or put on hold indefinitely.
Bro, Ironheart's not coming out.
That's what I was gonna say. Ironheart, in my opinion, is not coming out at all. I just don't think it's going to be a thing. I think they're going to definitely write it off for sure. It just is never going to come out. I'm honestly surprised Echo's coming out, but then again, they have no faith in it. They're just dropping all the episodes at once, and they're just like, all right, we're done. But yeah, what do you guys think of this?
Between the strikes of both writers and actors that's happening, and also the fact that they've exhausted their fan base's interest in wanting to give a crap about their shows, I would say either half of these shows are not going to come out, and in the other half that does, people will not give a crap about them enough to the point where they will have performance levels the equivalent of Ahsoka, and then afterwards, the same pattern is going to repeat where Disney's going to get those producers, or the producers are going to do it themselves, where they're going to be like, oh, the reason why our show didn't do so well is because, it's the fault of all those racist and misogynists. They are the reason why we're not doing good. It's not because we are completely talentless. That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna repeat the same pattern.
I do find it interesting that they started off 2023 with like an immense amount of shows they were going to come out with, and now I think they've only come out with a few, and like they were either indefinitely put on hold or canceled or whatever. It's just kind of hilarious.
Like I do feel like you have to keep it the perspective of the strike too. Like obviously that plays a huge effect into all this. So it's not like just Marvel on their own or delaying their shit. But at the same time, like it's not looking good. And was a time
just a quick point before you continue. Ironheart was delayed prior to the strike.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean. Like
continue.
When you put all of them together,
right, everything together.
That way. But there was a time where I would have at least been interested to see Daredevil. I don't know if I ever would have cared about Ironheart, but I mean, there was a time where I was excited for Marvel and I would have wanted to see what was going to happen. And then there was a time where it was so surprisingly bad. I wanted to see how shit it was going to be, like She-Hulk. Now I just don't fucking care. I don't think I'm going to even bother to check out like any of these shows if they come out. Maybe Daredevil, but I don't think it's going to be good.
That's how it was in the beginning for me. No. I was watching these shows to see how bad they were going to be.
Yeah.
And obviously I was making content off of it, but now honestly, I haven't watched a lot of these shows, bro. I have not even to make videos.
Like Secret Invasion, at one point, like I just don't give a shit.
Like at what point do you get tired in them?
We're getting fooled.
I'm sad. I want all of these piece of shit TV shows to come to fruition. I want to see Disney fucking continue to stab themselves in the dick
and still survive. Because highlighting the problem. I'm being serious here. Highlighting the problem only gets you so far. These companies have been doing this for nearly a decade off the top of my head. And most of them, not all of them, but most of them are still alive and kicking. And they could well do this for the next 10 fucking years. My hairline will be gone. I'll have to be fully shaven. I'll have to be fully shaven because I can't get bearded and bald. I will literally turn into an old man into my 30s because these fucking shows, they all fail. I'm 24, Beardo.
No, you're full of shit.
No,
you're really
June 22nd, 1999.
That changes the whole perspective on the hairline now, doesn't it?
A little bit.
He was thinking to himself, "Oh, you look pretty good for a man in his 40s."
I just turned 28, and I thought I looked old for a young guy. And I mean that in the most respectful way.
It's the beard.
It's all stress.
The beard and the cap, like both.
As I said before, highlighting the problem, unfortunately, only
24.
So far.
Huh?
Yes. 24.
You're not fooling anybody.
Beardo wants to see some ID.
He's like the youngest in this panel.
I'm like all black people. I don't have ID.
Oh my gosh, Jesus Christ!
No, but in all seriousness,
you know what's sad? There's a lot of white liberals in this country that will agree with you. That's the saddest part about that statement. They'd be like, "Yeah, no, we need to. IDs should not be a thing because we have to be inclusive. Black people can't get them. They're not smart enough to go to the fucking DMV and go get an ID."
I know when Joe Biden said that black people aren't smart enough to vote.
Dude, yeah.
There's been a lot of great statements lately.
All kids are just as bright as white kids and Asian kids. And
that was probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, like.
But anyway, let's continue about good old cancellations. But yeah, so I do find it funny that they started off this year with so many shows. I think Loki is coming out, right? Loki's coming out, I think, in October. Of this year, and that's probably going to be one of the last shows, right? That they're releasing before the year is over. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
Are they doing What If this year? Are they doing What If? I don't even remember. I don't know.
Like at this point, nobody gives a crap.
I'm so checked out.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem right now that we're having.
Disney dies. Do an episode called "What If Disney Dies and Marvel is Made Great Again."
There's only two superhero shows that I'm actually looking forward to, that I actually anticipate, and that's The Boys and Invincible.
Fair.
Yeah.
Those are the only superhero shows I give a fuck about.
Yeah, those are the only ones that are still interesting.
No, yeah. What's up?
No, I was gonna say, it's interesting because when Loki first came out, I actually was kind of interested to see it.
Dude,
I was excited to see it because that was off of the cusp of Endgame and you know, kind of like the continuation and everything. And I was really gonna be all down for it. And then I started to have a feeling like they were gonna kind of fuck with this a little bit because they were starting to mention certain things. Like they kept bringing up what the red flag for me was that they kept bringing up Loki's sexuality. Like, why are you constantly in every interview bringing up Loki's sexuality? Like, why are you telling me that he's fucking non-binary?
That means he's gay.
Right. Like, I'm like, what? And then they started calling him a transgender icon. I'm like, why are you calling him a transgender icon?
It's so bizarre.
That's
and
not what that
once
means.
that started happening, I was like, what is going on? But then I wasn't quite in the sphere yet at that point. And then I watched the show and I was like, what the fuck did I just watch, bro? Like, why are we girl bossing this shit anyway? And then after that, it's been downhill. Completely.
You know what I think it is? Like I don't know why I've been seeing this trend lately. You know, like how they want people to think that because a straight woman is more of a tomboy than the traditionally looking woman, that they must be either gay or going to turn into trans. They have the same thing for men, but it's basically like men who look not like the usual man, like they have more feminine features just naturally by their genetics, right? Their facial structure, their body type, everything. Maybe they take care of themselves more than usual, but they're straight. They think those people are automatically gay 100% of the time.
Yeah.
When that's not the, and the funny thing is, like, they have this obsession with the sexuality of their characters, when in the end of the day, nobody cares, like in real life, who you, at least in this day and age, okay? Nobody cares who you sleep with. More than anything, people care more about the context of your character, okay? Like, who are you as a person? I don't care, you know, what you like to stick your dick in. I care more about who are you as a person. And they seem to focus more on who you like to stick your dick in.
Dragon?
What?
Very liberal of you.
But that's what I'm saying. When they were coming out and talking about his sexuality, I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, why are you even mentioning this? Like, why is this pertinent information? Like, you have a couple of interviews that you can do that are going to try to sell me on this show, and one of them you decided to do was tell me how he is non-binary and a transgender icon and he is bisexual. I'm like, why did you tell me any of this? Why was this important for me to know?
And he's a trickster. What does that tell you, folks? Are these people secretly homophobic?
They probably are, Ryan. That's the funniest thing ever.
Bisexual, you know? Non-binary.
No, it's like what's crazy is, like, you have these people on both sides of, like, I guess, like, you call it the political aisle, that, you know, one side says, you know, I cannot stand the gays, homosexuals, the transsexuals, and then you have this other side that's like, oh no, we love everyone. And then at the end of the day, you look at them from behind closed doors, and it's like these people that demonize those groups in reality like them or tolerate them and could give less of a crap about it. And then on the other side, it's like they hate them with a passion, but they say the buzzwords because it'll make them money or give them the notoriety that they want to advance their own little personal shady goal.
Got to get behind someone in order to stab them in the back, folks.
Well, they're pros at accusing other people of the stuff that they do. That's what they're pros at. So you got to remember, and I say it all the time, right? So, like, all this constant need to virtue signal to minorities and all these other people, this is the need of someone that actually genuinely thinks they're better than most minorities or other people or whatever. That's what they think. Like, when you have people making characters like Miles Morales' story that we talk about all the time, or other characters that are so based in stereotypes that they were clearly not written or whatever from a person who is actually of that skin color, it goes to show that they are going to accuse others of what they truly believe. So they think that, okay, let's call you racist, let's call you sexist, let us virtue signal to these same people we just accused you of hating, and they will never accuse us of thinking that us thinking that they are lesser than us. You know, that's what it is.
The system wants to erase out of the collective conscious any type of emotional anchoring to profound words and great storytelling. It is important for the system to detach us from, you know, with our umbilical cord, with our resonating umbilical cord, to what the essence is, right? And distort the message of the essence, right? Kind of twist it, like insert, more modern agendas. So people can't really recognize what the essence is all about. And therefore they get more confused and more easy to, to manipulate. This is how the system works. So everything that is precious, valuable, and has like an important narrative, like an outcome that makes sense, like a hero's quest that kind of has its 3 stages and respects all the kind of, the metaphors and the tropes in order for us, the audience, to live the catharsis of the hero. Because if we are not given the catharsis, we are staying in that state of confusion and unsatisfactory momentum. Is like, and what's the point of the story if
in the position of evil?
Right. Where do I get to distinguish what's good, what's bad? What is the moral value of the story? What is the luggage, the spiritual luggage of this content? If there isn't any, and there is nothing to identify with, and they're always twisting your memories, they're always playing these games of, touching such sacred masters of the written word as fucking Professor Tolkien. How could you dare? Right, you short-sighted, narrow-minded, agenda-driven nothing.
They destroy everything they touch.
To even pronounce his name, like this is a human being that has dedicated his entire life, his professional and his also his private life, to creating an epic canon, something nobody has created before him, and it was
for his son. For his son,
and so. You have to respect the authors. You have to respect the old lores, the old traditions, the old stories, the old mages, the old wise people. And what are these companies showing us? What is their intent? To exactly not do that, right? To rip them off of their spirituality, of a certain mysticism, right? They kind of made Star Wars normal, right? They kind of used the magic to kind of They erased everything that was special and magical and somehow in between, right?
Abnormal, more like it, because
try to get the coin from the normies, and it failed. Well,
especially with Ahsoka now, they're trying to force what's her fucking name, Sabine, into having like force powers now, and becoming a full Jedi. And it's just like, dude, she straight up says that she's never felt any connection or been able to do it. And Ahsoka goes, "The force resides in all beings, even you." And I'm like, goddamn well, that's not how it works.
Yeah, no, like it's some people that can draw. Yeah, it resides in everyone, but only a certain small amount can draw it out.
Right.
Okay. Don't give. Yeah, it's. I don't even care anymore.
The chat should understand that this is not reality. There is magic out there. There are special moments out there. We are capable of doing amazing things. The system just doesn't want us, right, to understand what we're capable of and get inspired by these heroes and their journeys. Because if they see themselves in those characters for real and not the fucking fake representation that is driven by the agendas that they are so proud of, but if you can identify, like for me in Harry Potter, I see myself as Hermione, right? I'm like, this is the perfect representation. Like I feel totally represented by this nerdy, super, kind of ADHD
female. You wear women's shoes after all.
I don't need to see myself somewhere. And
he does, Beardo.
Kind of represent everything that major chunks of my personality, and so therefore, this is the magic of great storytelling. You can literally identify with everybody. You don't need yourself to be represented in order to understand the story.
And Cassie wears men's shoes, just to let you all know.
Yeah.
Probably more comfortable.
Jay, how did you know? How did you know? Guy. That's my guy right there.
Rebel Commander Drunk 3PO himself.
The Pooh Killer, also known by that infamous name.
Oh, the
Slayer of the Pooh.
I really can't believe that happened. I think about that, and I told him, like, of all the people for Pooh to fall in front of, he fell in front of a fucking Geeks and Gamers live streamer with thousands of people watching. And it's like, it's going to be the guy who's going to laugh his ass off when it happens too. It's like, he tried. The respect to him, he tried. I saw him hold it in. He held it in for like a good solid minute and 12 seconds. But then after that, it was just gone.
The Canadian bear wanted some bear-on-bear action. We all know.
He force-tripped him.
He might be onto something there.
Oh, no.
On the floor.
Drunk Gabriel wants to be the primary bear. He doesn't want any other bears.
He wants to be the Baldur's Gate bear.
He's the
absolutely.
Like the bear from that. You're wrong. Come on.
Speaking of which, I have yet to fuck a bear in Baldur's Gate, and I'm starting to get annoyed.
Yeah. Don't worry, Hypno. Keep that horniness locked in, and soon you'll get that bear.
Wow,
better than a female male clone. Fucking thing.
Oh my goodness.
But yes.
You know what I was gonna say about Tarzan?
Go ahead. Yep.
No, real quick. Somebody on chat was like, "Oh my god, it'd be great if Disney just did a black Tarzan." And you know what I was thinking in my mind? Like,
never happened.
No, Beardo. They can do it. You know what they gotta do? No. Here's how they're gonna do it. They're gonna make Tarzan black, but here's the kicker: they're gonna make him gay, like gay as hell. She comes up and finds him. He's basically just railing a male gorilla.
Here.
It'll be great. It'll be a hit. It'll be a fucking hit.
Tarzan, who was a white boy, who was raised by apes and monkeys, who behaves like a monkey, who has grown up into a man who still behaves like a monkey.
Yeah.
Disney would never.
Yes, they would.
No. Here's what they're gonna do. They're going to make Tarzan in the hood. They're gonna make Black Tarzan in the Bronx, right? And then the Bronx is gonna be invaded by animals, and somehow the black man is gonna be able to communicate with them and control them, and then they're going to clean up the streets of the Bronx together.
That's even worse than a gay Tarzan.
But it's better than putting a black man in a jungle. They're gonna keep him in the concrete jungle.
And then in the post-credit scene, Miles Morales comes in and helps him out.
Yeah.
And then he just says,
Miles Morales is gonna swing by and be like, "Hey, first time."
And
your first time, huh?
He's gonna save Sherwood Towers as well. It's gonna help Robin Hood and her gang of merry furries. The Hood fight back against the evil capitalist overlords, the white cops, by the way. And the arch nemesis is the butt ugly redhead that apparently I had no idea was actually a very beautiful redhead woman, but somehow they achieved the impossible by making an attractive woman look as butt ugly as possible.
They do that all the time. It's
not that hard.
Robin the Hood's leader will be Force Ghost version of George Floyd.
I really think. I really think that they're gonna do that. Though. Like that's the only way they're gonna pull it off. They cannot listen. They cannot. They cannot remake their entire lineup of animated movies and skip over Tarzan, because if they do that, that's like. But that's inherently admitting that you guys don't want to do it because you're scared.
Skarsgård.
But that wasn't Disney.
No, it wasn't Disney. That was
because Tarzan is public domain by now, right?
Yeah, it's public domain, but who was it that made that film? Hold on, we'll look it up.
Well, I'm just saying there's no way that Disney, in their recent push to remake all their animated films, they can't skip over one, because people are going to ask questions like, why are you skipping Tarzan? And eventually they're going to have to say why. They're going to make up some bullshit excuse. Right. Like, oh, we just can't find a way to properly bring these animals to life or something. Right. So we're just gonna skip over this to make sure we keep the integrity of the original.
If they are going to do Tarzan, Dragon Slayer had a point. If they do Tarzan, he won't be black and gay, but they might make him gay.
Could be albino.
They'll do white and gay for sure.
No, bisexual. That's even better.
They could make
Hispanic or Asian,
or a female Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even if they don't make him gay, they're gonna make him fall in love with a white woman.
Or he gets sidelined in his own story. If
they'll do female Tarzan, and they'll make Jay the man. I mean, what's her name? Jane. They'll make Jane the man, but he'll be gay.
Female lesbian Tarzan.
This is what they're gonna do. It's gonna be Tarzan.
Yes, Wyatt, you're onto something right there. Hey, with those kind of thoughts right there, Disney might hire you.
Please no.
If anybody on this panel would work for Disney, it would be Wyatt.
What's going to happen?
It would not be
Disney, actually.
He does have a.
they're gonna make a Tarzan for a modern audience instead of a jungle. It's gonna be in a physician's office, and instead of thinking he's an ape, he's gonna think he's a woman, and it's gonna be Tar Trans.
Jesus Christ. We're giving them way too many ideas. You realize this, right?
Please.
Too many golden ideas that nobody's going to go and watch.
That's a terrible idea.
An albino Tarzan, so they can work around it.
And he's running away from African witch doctors who want to drink his bones to live longer.
Drink his bones.
Megan Fox?
It sells children to the elite.
Megan Fox,
like in real
Angelina
life,
Jolie.
Hey,
look, all these blood drinking women that look young forever.
That'd be a great Tarzan. That's the way they could do a Tarzan.
They want you to keep having abortions so they can fucking
people from coming and taking their kids.
Hypnotic. That's based.
We are
adrenochrome.
You're all geniuses.
Oh, did you just say the forbidden word, Ryan?
Now we're new.
Adrenochrome.
Oh,
like
no.
Beetlejuice. It'll come out of nowhere.
No, but the funny thing is too that it doesn't matter if they make Tarzan a woman or a man or whatever, black, white, whatever they do, the love interest is going to be the opposite because they have an obsession with having black and white be together. So yeah, and it's look at Little Mermaid. It happens all the time, the time.
No, dude, I got even
but
better
it tends to be usually black men going for white women. That's usually
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What they can do. Okay. So, I'm going to revise my idea real quick. Tarzan is going to be a woman, a strong, independent, black lesbian woman, and Jane is going to be white, and that'll show how she conquers the British imperialists, how she conquers the white man once and for all.
And Lizzo will be Tarzan.
Lizzo would be the elephant that Tarzan rides.
I will pay money if they can make Lizzo swing without CGI. If they can make her swing from tree to tree without CGI, I will pay top dollar to see that.
Listen, do you know how many people you put at risk having that fat pig take flight? Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
That's okay.
Not only that, but she's gonna eat all the food in the place too.
Have you seen her nudes? Like, that's okay. We're gonna make it happen.
No, I'm trying to see that.
I have not stumbled.
I wish I didn't see it, but unfortunately, I scrolled through Twitter like a dick, and then somebody posted it that I guess I follow, or even it's half the time it's somebody I don't even follow. It's just like, hey, here's a recommended. You wanted to see some fucking rolls today?
Now
here you go.
Hypnotic is sick.
And I was like,
I got COVID from her pictures.
Lizzo swinging, ladies and gentlemen, can take many different meanings. That's why I was shocked when I heard that being said. Like swinging. Like
yes, right. Yes.
There was actually a picture posted on Twitter, and I don't know how it came across my feed, but I think it was Lizzo at a concert, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody took a still shot of when she went like spread eagle.
I saw that.
Did you see that one, White? And all it was just like darkness. Like I don't even know how. It was just like a void.
Death and hate.
Yeah. It was literally a void of just unclean skin.
Is that what somebody who would any man who's had Lizzo sit on their face see? Just goes like, I looked upon that dark void, and all I saw was death.
If Lizzo has sat on any man's face, that man has not lived to tell the tale.
Dead.
You could say it was hypnotic.
No, that's not hypnotic. Okay, not at all. Please do not tarnish my name with that void of sludge, whatever.
Don't you want to be a hypnomaniac?
Lizzo,
No, not that. No, not with that.
Not if I have to fucking jump into that black hole.
A Lizzo,
like bonus hole. That's crazy.
That's not a bonus hole.
That's a black hole. That's a black hole.
That's like the gulag. It gets sent there when you fuck up.
Welcome to the gulag. Yeah, welcome to the gulag. That's what it's gonna be.
Terrible. It really was terrible.
It looked like Chernobyl.
Why am I seeing this right now?
Why am I? Why are you guys
Drew, no.
He's a hypnomaniac.
Can you imagine the
He's a
smell?
I don't want to. But you know what's crazy is though, you can smell that picture. That's the fucked up part. Like you can actually smell the picture. It's terrible.
All you're gonna smell, she tries to make it smell like roses. You're just gonna smell a field of decayed roses.
Why exactly are we talking about this?
Because it's hilarious.
I don't know. Hypno brought it up. Okay,
I didn't bring up Lizzo. Don't go there. I didn't.
I brought up Lizzo. My bad.
Exactly. Beardo brought up Lizzo, and then I got fucking re-traumatized from earlier today.
My bad.
He relapsed.
I'm never getting invited back.
Right.
It's like
it's so difficult, right? We give you a chance, and this is how you treat it.
I know. My bad. All right. Hey, it was fun. Later, guys.
All right, let's do these last 2 super chats real quick, and we're gonna start to close out. All right, guys. So we got a FBA for 5 says, "Hey Beardo, did Melanie Mac?" Oh shit! I should have let you read this one.
What is with?
I made steak. I grilled up some steaks, and from what she said that she liked the steak.
Did she like your sausage?
I did not make any sausage. Just steak.
Okay.
New York strips.
Nice.
No, this
Don Andrew for 10 says they'll make Tarzan into bestiality. Think about it. Makes sense.
They're gonna
just make him gay, and the circle's complete.
I would think that that's not a thing, right? I don't think that if this was me like 2 years ago, that's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. If this was me 2 years ago, I would say, you know what? Not really. I don't think that's gonna happen. But then fucking Baldur's Gate came out, and I saw how many wokies on Twitter cheered to fuck a bear, and I'm like, oh, this might actually be a thing.
Only one step away, folks, from the final frontier. These sick fuckers. Only one step.
They keep adding letters. Bestiality is gonna go into the LGBTQ. It's only a matter of time.
Not before the minor attracted.
It's gonna be LGB squared, because got bestiality, bis. Yeah, you need like B squared.
It's a dumpster fire.
I think that is everything. Yep, that is everything.
Yeah,
so,
that's it, right?
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all your freaking support. What is that? Nice.
I see a bill. Yeah,
what are you, a fucking like architect too? Jesus.
Yeah.
He is very good at geometric shapes, according to him.
Amazing.
That's just the humble excuse he uses to say, "I make masterpieces in 5 minutes."
Listen, guys, thank you all for your support. Episode 54 was awesome. It was great having FearTheBeardo here, hanging out with us tonight, enjoying the bigotry. He's always welcome back, of course. Let's start off with Cult Classic Cage. Take it away.
Hey. No, it was a great show, guys. A lot of fun. I appreciate Beardo pulling up, and another Saturday in the books, man. Just to keep it short. If you want to find me, if you're into gaming at all, look me up on YouTube, Twitter, or Kick, Cult Classic Cage. Definitely a lot of content to come. Also, posted a lot of stuff. The channel's doing well. Really planning to hit 3K subs by the end of the year. That's the goal. So any assistance in that is greatly appreciated. And also Kick, man. Kick is a great alternative to Twitch. If you want to hang out, play video games, watch react requests from individuals in my Discord that recommended to just have a chill time where you don't have to worry about censorship and all the bullshit. Follow me there. If you want to speak to me personally, hit me up on Twitter, Cult Classic Cage. Thanks so much for having me, man. It's another great night.
Awesome. Also, everybody make sure if you're on Twitter, you go tag Atreus and Leon for being total cucks tonight and leaving us hanging. I would greatly appreciate it. You can say I sent you guys. It's fine. It's not a problem. I'll take the blame. Just make them feel really bad.
They're having sexual relations with one another.
100%. They're trying to mend the racial wars right now.
He does not rest. This man sees opportunity, and like an opportunistic imperialist just takes advantage of it.
He looks like somebody from the Empire right now with that fucking fake Russian hat he's got on.
Yeah.
No, I'm just positioning the microphone to look very German.
I will bring back.
My god!
I will bring back the clan back to its age-old glory.
I'm doing nothing, folks. It's the microphone. It's forcing me to do it.
Yeah, sure.
Take it away, Dragon Slayer.
All right, well, guys, this has been a Jesus Christ, Black. What? Fuck. Hold on. All right, that comment threw me off. Right. So, guys, really, this is a wonderful stream. You know, like usual, we had a great time. And at least for me, if you guys want to find my channel, you can either click on the link in the chat right now. If you can even type this fast, you can type that Linktree link right there, or you can just go in the description of this current live stream and click there. And if you want to find any of my socials, well, again, the Linktree is in my channel description or in the About section. I am working on getting that Kindergarten Cop review out. It's a really good movie, so I am taking my sweet time doing it, as you guys know. Now, I'm quite sure that I will be able to release that video before Joe Biden dies. But if he does die, well, I don't know what else to say. That's kind of the running joke. So when he does drop, I mean, I'm kind of screwed. I don't have a running joke. But I have made videos on The Witcher, Velma, Rings of Power. That's what I'm known for. And also The Mandalorian and other, of course, movies and TV shows. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. But after that, I am going to dunk on this crappy Ahsoka show because, you know, I care a lot about Wyatt's mental health. You know, no one person should be suffering the hellish experience that is Disney Star Wars. And thanks to him, I got into hell because of The Mandalorian, because he got mad about the Lizzo episode. So, yeah, expect that to come out soon. Other than that, guys, wonderful stream. And thank you,
on
Hypnotic.
other people, except no responsibility.
It's okay. You're a white man and I'm Latino. It's completely justified according to our current ideas.
That's true. You're right.
100%. All right, we got Mr. FearTheBeardo, the legend himself. Take it away.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on. You guys are freaking awesome. I love the energy and all the conversation, how you guys just nerd out. It felt right at home, man. So shout out to you guys. This is, you know, a great show, a great turnout with the whole chat and everything like that. Almost at 300 likes. That's freaking insane, man. So you guys are awesome. I'm on Geeks and Gamers. You can follow me on FearTheBeardo on everything. Kick, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of them except for Twitch. Fuck Twitch. Don't follow me on Twitch. And that's about it. Appreciate you, Hypnotic, man. You're legit.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. All right, we got our local Klansman who's trying to be the Sith right now. I really don't know what the fuck he's doing over there. But
No, folks, understand your history, and you know what I'm trying to point out. Thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't already, no, the other ones. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to the iconic Hypnotic. The Hypno, who's Nympho for Lizzo, as it were. As for me, you can check me out at Ryan Roger Athe. That's the name of my channel. And the name of my show is Reality Based. Everyone except Beardo and Cassie have been on the show. I think Cassie's terrified of me. She probably has a restraining order on me or something. But the link is in the description. It is in the description. It's also in the chat as well. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and no other genders, binaries, tranny demons, or full-blown AIDS demons like Film Rebel and tranny demons is words of paradise. Bye for now, folks.
Bro, between the headline and Steve's,
Steven,
pretty amazing.
This is amazing.
We also got Film Rebel, aka Wyatt's Metal. Literally, that's his name right now. Take it away.
Funny. Put me right between the Klansman and the Oracle. This is a weird, awkward interruption here.
We're both Germanic Rebel.
That is true. If you want to hear me talk shit about today's entertainment, follow me on Film Rebel. I'm going to have a video on Ahsoka coming out like pretty much right now. Follow me on my other channel, Wyatt's Metal. It's really my main channel where I talk about heavy metal stuff like the crazy barbarian savages that we are. I also wanted to announce now I'm putting together a GoFundMe to build a ship to bring Mexican food to the abandoned little island that Ryan lives on so that we might be able to open his horizon for once in his life. It might bring his hairline back. I don't know, but we can test it.
Probably.
Build the boats for the Africans to go back.
Oh my god. Piece of shit. Fucking piece of shit.
Dang.
Anyway, that's the end of my outro.
Give him a pack of that Keeps product so his hair grows back too.
I am dropping bigger bombs than Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Man.
That's one way to tell us your room fucking stinks. God.
Hot caca, huh, Ryan?
Hot radioactive caca, dude.
Jesse, you're very dirty. Very dirty.
Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, Coach MC Studios, the Oracle himself, Gandalf from the intro. Take it away, sir.
Thank you so much for having me, Hypno. Thank you so much to Beardo for stopping by. It was amazing having him on the show. It was like an awesome, very funny addition. Also a cool, serious addition to what we crazy folks are doing over here. So chat, you know us. I mean, I'm sorry sometimes for derailing or taking it too much out on a limb. It's just our passion that drives us. And Dragon Slayer, yeah, look at him. I mean, it's the only thing that he has, right? He has to kind of sometimes go out.
What? you bastard! After what
I was going to
did
say,
for you.
we can't look at him, but okay. I guess
protect you. So I take the blame because we inspire us also to go crazy, and hopefully
you're talented, Coach.
It's okay. It's okay that you join us, and because what we are representing is hope. We are one of those last bastions. We are fighting against darkness. We are fighting against the king of the north, against the Ice King, right? We're trying to bring some good-spirited entertainment back into the hearts of the people, some fire, some nice conversation, and also to dismantle and disclose, and of course, show every time that the agenda is trying to enforce something, that what their real plans are, and so therefore we can discard it and just concentrate on the good stuff that we are producing or trying to produce. And if you're an actor or you want to get into entertainment because you want to create your entertainment, a better entertainment, or you're trying to convey your message, whether you're a communicator, a seller, a pitcher, an actor, a performer, a comedian, whatever, and you're looking for a certain recipe for something to kind of spice up your program even more, or to kind of find your formula, your narrative, your voice in this crazy game that is happening every day that is called communication, then come over to the Coach MC studio, enjoy the videos. We would lovely hit the 2,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. That would be a fantastic goal. So maybe you can help us kind of achieve that, and then meanwhile learn something about entertainment, about communication, about art. Hopefully interact with us, collaborate with us, and maybe there is also a self-tape that you want to produce or come up with your own video, and you're still looking for a formula there. Then you contact me through the coachmc.studio, and we set up a free trial session. We found out if we're a great match for each other. If we are, we can start the adventure. Creativity should be that, an adventure, an exploration, and a constant discovery. So let's discover next Saturday what we're about to do. Thank you so much again, Beardos. Thank you so much to everyone out there. I mean, it's been just a blast and an honor, and see you next time.
Beautiful, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Of course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically it for episode 54. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. One thing I wanted to address really quick, because I forgot to do it earlier in the stream. The streams are now, after 24 hours, going to members only. And a lot of people ask why. The reason why is because the streams have actually, I found out with live streams, it's weird with YouTube. If you leave them up, it kind of fucks with your algorithm a little bit. Mm-hmm. I noticed that in my videos, and the videos actually got better once I kind of unlisted all of them. So I went the members route. That way people could still see it on YouTube, but I'm not hiding it behind a paywall. So if you want to go watch them for free, they will always be up on Rumble for free, always. So you can go check them out. If you're watching this after the fact, they're going to be there. I'm not hiding them. They're there. So go watch it. We had a great stream tonight on Rumble also. So go check it out after the fact. And you guys, that's what's going on with the streams, okay? But that being said, thank you guys so much for your support. As always, episode 54 was awesome. Thank you for Beardo for being here. Please, guys, make sure to go support Beardo, support Geeks and Gamers for hanging out with us. Please also go support everybody else on the panel tonight. We all have goals we're trying to reach tonight. So please make sure the links are always in the description box below. Go check everybody out. Everybody kind of does their own thing. there's different segments of content that might interest different kinds of people with every panelist here. So make sure to go check them out. And I'm sure you'll find something you like. With that being said, guys, thank you so much. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully I won't sound like shit on the next stream because I know I did tonight. But thank you guys again. Peace out. Go be bigots. You know what to do already. Good night.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.